serious. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Heyo.
This week, featuring...
I am Lindsay Jones.
Wow,
now.
you weren't ready for that at all.
Yeah,
No,
come
I'm
on.
sorry. Oh,
Michael Jones.
Gavin Jones.
No.
One day.
Gus Sorola.
soon. When we have a polygamous
Are we going to
relationship.
adopt
Yeah.
you? What do you mean one day?
Big love season, whatever the next season is.
Can you
with
adopt
Gavin.
a 26-year-old?
Absolutely.
Probably.
You absolutely can.
You should. What is that? He has to emancipate himself.
I
or
imagine
how does that
No,
work?
because he's already independent.
You have to proclaim
so
it
he can
first.
just do it.
Right.
Has to put a kid up for adoption, but I am an adult, so I
Okay.
can put myself up for
Do
adoption.
it, and we'll adopt you then.
Can you be adopted by someone younger than you?
I don't see why not. Right? I doubt there's a law against it.
Didn't Ben want to be adopted by someone once?
I don't know. Adoption's such a weird thing. Like, would you ever consider adopting someone?
Probably
Adopting a
It
kid?
seems like a big commitment to me.
He already has one nut that doesn't work. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I would
probably.
absolutely adopt someone. Why not?
Yeah, it's just a big commitment to think that there'd be someone in the world
Honestly, I'm
you
not.
haven't met, and you're gonna meet and be like, "You're pretty awesome. Let's make this a thing."
Let's
Yeah,
be
can we
parents.
wrap this one up to go?
I just don't think I want to pass my genes down.
Return to sender.
You just passed your jeans down right before we came on the air. You
true.
practically took your fucking pants off.
I looked
Yeah,
over
I
and all I
always
saw
have-
was boxers. And
Yeah.
I've seen, like I said, I've seen Gavin adjusting himself before when we're filming, especially for Achievement Hunter. I'm always the one to look over and be like, God damn it, Gavin, right as you're adjusting
You
yourself.
know, I always pop myself out before the podcast.
You do, but to be fair, like by the time the podcast started, it ended up with you just pulling your zipper up. Yet 10
That's-
seconds before that, like your pants were practically around your ankles. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand how you had to get so low.
It's
to
like
get
he's
to
got to
where you
loosen
were.
the zipper
Yeah.
by getting his pants around his ankles because your
like-
pants are so tight. Then you
he
like
likes
drop
to
the
live
zipper there and pull them
dangerously.
back up.
It's good to have a breather. Where's what's that look for?
Let your ass
He's
breathe.
letting his balls breathe.
Yeah.
Where's Bernie?
He's in Vegas giving some talk no one cares about.
Dumb.
Speaking of breathing.
He's talking about net neutrality at South by Southwest.
He always talks about net neutrality at South by Southwest.
This one's in Vegas though.
Oh, okay.
They
So
should just
different.
play the thing from South by Southwest at Vegas,
Yeah,
and
The
then just
one
get a
from,
cardboard cutout of
like
him.
5 years ago.
I think it was longer than that.
Do you think
6.
it would hold up?
Yeah.
What he was saying?
Same values.
Yeah.
Probably.
Bloody MySpace.
Except now it's back in the news again. People seem to
Yeah.
care about
Making
it
a
once
comeback.
again.
Is it still more band oriented now? Like, if you have a
MySpace.
band, you have a MySpace page for your band. You're like, go check it out, guys.
I don't think it's anything
Go to my
oriented
show.
right now.
Yeah.
When's the last time you tried to go to MySpace?
I still have mine somewhere, like floating in the MySpace netherverse.
But
if you can find
when's
it.
the last time you went and you were like, I'm going to log into MySpace?
4 or 5 years ago, something like that. And even then's like pretty sad, I guess. I was in college, so yeah.
What's sad is when you check up on something after so much time, and then that becomes the thing that was years ago.
Yeah, like your checkup.
Yeah, like,
was,
oh wow, I probably checked in on that 5 years ago after
Yeah,
3 years.
we had a
were looking at
conversation about
achievements
this. Yeah, we were looking at old achievements, and I looked at a game. I think it was like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, which came out in 2009. And I was saying to Gavin, I vividly remember buying the game, not really being into it, taking a break from it, playing it a little bit later, taking another break, and then playing it and finishing it. And I remember looking at the achievements being like, it's funny, I started this game and then I finished it way later. I started it and then finished it 6 months later. That was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, I remember when 6 months was a long time
It was
ago.
the same for me with Marble Blast. I was like, wow, I'm going to have the record for the 2 furthest apart achievements in the same game. It was like 2006, and then I got another one in 2009.
Yeah.
And that was 5 years ago.
Yeah,
That's
that-
what makes
Yeah.
me feel so old. I was
Michael
like,
gauges things now based on when he was still in New Jersey and when he came to Texas. And he can tell you, he'll be like, oh, yeah, that was before 2011 or something. He's like, yeah, it was before I was here. But that's it. That's the only reference he has. And we're like, oh, okay, I guess it
I
happened
tried to do the
then.
same thing.
That
where,
was like my rebirth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll build
mine was-
milestones into my life, and it's like, was this before or after that? Like, you can kind of start narrowing things down.
yeah,
that
I had
way.
the exact same thing, like moving to America. I'm like,
I
did
feel
this
like-
happen before 2012?
I feel like for Gus to be like BG before Gus. Like, did this exist before I was here? No. Be
If
gone.
did it exist before I was here? It doesn't fucking count
Exactly. I guess I didn't. I don't matter.
then. Man, I had a fucking pain in the ass problem the other day.
How's your ass feeling now?
My ass
Let me guess.
is better.
Is it to do with your new house?
Or it does.
Yes.
It is.
You moved?
I
I had
moved.
no idea.
I bought
Excellent.
a washer and dryer, as you do.
Nice.
LG?
And they're stackable. You put one on top of the other.
Smart buy, Gus.
No clothesline
Smart
here,
buy.
bitch.
I don't have to go to the laundromat anymore.
Yeah.
Fucking delivery guys show up. They're like, "Did you buy the stacking kit?" I was like, "What? No." Like, "Oh yeah, we can't stack these." I was like, "Well, no one told me." I was like, "Let me just go to the store, I'll get it right now." They're like, "No, we can't do that."
Are they
fucking,
legally unable to do so?
They fucking left.
Wow.
They
Best-
can.
Yeah,
Make
right.
it
I was
with
like,
the
so I was
stacking
like, fuck it. So I bought it and I called them and I'm like,
Fucking
hey,
jerry-rigging.
I got the thing. I got the fucking stacking kit. Come set it up. Like, okay, we're gonna come out and set it up. They come out. They broke my. They said, oh, your dryer's broken. We can't set it up. So they left. I looked at it. They fucking stripped, like where you attach the cord.
Yeah.
They fucking stripped all the screws in there. And they're like, oh, it's broken. Like, fuck those guys. So I took it. I just like shoved it back on the dock of the place I bought it from. It's like, it's your problem now. Bought another one. I was like, I'm so pissed off. This is like 2 weeks of time.
Yeah.
What do you mean you shoved? What, you drove it back there?
I literally took it, put it in my truck, drove it back there,
I always forget you have a truck.
pushed it off the back of my truck, and they're like, what's this? I was like, it's yours. I was like, give me my money back. I'll be back later.
I'm seeing like Kill Bill style. You shove it out of your truck and it rolls down.
Did you roll up in the pussy wagon and kick the fucking thing out?
I got my new dryer, trying to set all this shit up. All the cords are just long enough that I can't set it up outside of the place for it.
The cubby.
So I have to like get back in there,
Yeah.
pull the whole thing back, hook it all up, and then figure out how to get out of this space with no room. So it was like this tiny little room. So I'm like trying to avoid all the cables and like propping myself up against the wall like Spider-Man style, trying to shimmy up. I'm trying to get like up to like this 7 foot in the air, the top of the dryer. It took me like a fucking hour because I'm so fat and out of shape. I finally like crawled out and I was like on top of it. I'm like just like breathing like a fucking maniac up there. God damn, I fucking hate moving so much.
But you got it done.
sucks.
I got it done.
It's set now.
I was like,
Yeah.
fuck those guys. Yeah, I'm done. I did the shit out of some laundry.
And check this out, right? See my hands? They're not cut to shit because you didn't make me move
I
anything.
did not make you do it this time. Nice. I just
Michael-
replaced those. That washer and dryer.
really?
Yeah.
The one it's probably my DNA still on the bottom of that.
Nice. Let's clone you. No, one's good enough. What? Michael helped me move in my washer and dryer whenever I had my old apartment before we moved in together, and I almost killed him because
Wasn't that Brian's dryer?
it was. Yeah, it was his washer and dryer, and we took it from his apartment.
He offered it to me, and I said no thank you because I didn't want to deal with what Gus just said and deal with a washer and dryer. I just moved here, and he was just like, hey, we're buying a new one because he was moving. And he generously offered me that one. And I'm like, thank you, but I'm a lazy piece of shit, and I would rather pay money to rent mine at my apartment than move this one in. So that's what I did. And then Lindsay mentioned she didn't have one, so I'm like, you should talk to Brian. And so then he gave it to her. I'm like, great, out of my fucking hair. And then she's like, hey, can you help me move my washer and dryer in? So
It just-
Even
the
before we were
universe
dating, he was helping me with
wanted it
stuff.
to be in your life.
yeah, and now it's in our apartment because then when she moved in, we brought it with us. But that time we had movers. But yeah, I was pushing from the bottom, or carrying from the bottom, and she was carrying from the top, and she lived on the second floor. And it was like right as she got to the top of the landing, she just like let go and like strolled along, and it almost crushed me to death down the
He's-
stairs.
So do you think it's determined to be in your life? Do you think you'll ever get rid of it and then you'll open a door and it'll be behind the door?
I mean, I don't think so.
I wanna
It's not
give it to
really
our
It's not like a
kids.
horror movie.
Yeah.
I'll probably just get rid of it and buy a new one. At
I
some
thought we
point.
were done with you, washer.
Yeah.
Like you fucking wake up in the morning and it's just like leaning over the bed looking at you.
So I have
That
a
would be insane.
washing machine question while we're on this amazingly interesting subject.
Go on.
This might be the first time we've ever talked about washing machines in the podcast.
I'm excited. Get excited.
We're gonna learn today.
No, not you,
Not
Kara.
you, Kara.
Kara was
Okay.
way too excited about washing machines.
Can you wash shoes?
Yeah.
Yeah, why
You
not?
throw them in there.
They make a lot of noise.
'Cause I bunged them in my brand new washing machine and it was like and the whole thing was like rattling around. I was like, this doesn't sound good.
Well, yeah.
They're usually even worse in the dryer.
I don't think you meant to dry shoes.
No, you put them in there.
I put them in the
Shoes.
dryer. I just throw a bunch of towels in with them so they don't
Really?
dent the shit out of the dryer.
Yeah, my shoelaces like went through the holes and it was like hanging off the inside and stuff.
Yeah, I think typically you take the shoelaces out just to avoid problems like that.
I also got told because I just did a
He
bunch
did.
of slow-mo filming with Dan and I always wash the lab coats, even though you wouldn't know it from looking at Dan's. I wash the lab coats after every shoot and we were doing a ton of stuff with like gasoline and butane gas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told not to put it in the tumble dryer because it might explode.
Huh. Did you do it anyway?
Here we
Yeah,
go.
I did. Because I didn't believe it. But is that dangerous to put in flammable stuff in a dryer?
Did it
don't know.
explode?
Who told you not to?
Turney?
Flammable stuff? Yeah, I assume that's dangerous. Fumes? I don't know. You
Meg's a
aired
pre-
it out, right? I'm sure
Meg's
it's
a pretty
fine.
smart
Also, it
woman
went in the
too.
washing machine.
I
Man.
feel like if Meg says don't do something, you shouldn't do
I
it.
Has
usually
she blown
don't.
up a dryer though? It's like that. Is that how she knows?
Were you filming it?
No.
Because then you could have had
That'd
some
have been
sweet
great.
footage. Man, I walked out the other day, I guess when you were doing that filming, and I was like, what's that smell? I walked out of this building. I was like, what's going on over there? I'm like, do I need to call someone? And I start walking over like, oh, it's Gavin, Dan.
You see us in the distance in our lab coats.
Yeah, and I was like, they got
false
it.
alarm.
They're on fire, but it's fine.
Yeah, we had a
They're
fire
good.
that got out of hand, but thankfully we had 2 fire extinguishers and used
Yeah,
both.
thankfully, because no one's gonna come help you. Because the second they see it, they'll be like, "Oh, it's just Gavin and Dan," and they just leave.
Yeah,
you guys are
literally.
on the ground burning to death, and they're just like, "Ah, they're fine. It's
I'm sure they're
filming
filming it.
something."
What was the one where all the shards of glass went into Dan too? I mean, you guys have already hurt
Oh, those are the
yourselves.
bottles.
Yeah,
That was the glass jars with the
paint.
bangers inside and the paint.
bangers,
Yeah, like
like
firecrackers.
firecrackers.
Yeah.
Ah.
We got a lot of.
But you have bangers and mash too. See, this is why I'm
not to be confused with the delicious sausages. We did a lot of filming. We did some gross ones. I finally got Dan to vomit in slow mo.
Yeah, that looked great in
Look forward to
regular
that.
mo. I didn't see it in slow mo.
That's disgusting. I didn't know you had that.
And also,
It was really fun.
I used this electric fly zapper, which I've used them before. You tap a fly and you get a little spark, and it's like tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
The fly's just dead. Filmed it way close up, probably maybe 4 inches away. It was disgusting. I'm not even sure I can put it up. Like one of the flies was just like, and then it split open from the back, and a little like stringy pink goop fell out.
No.
Another fly landed and flipped upside down at its back, and then it just went, and the head flew off. The head flew off, I think, at about 500 miles an hour. Because
Science.
At 2,000 frames a second, it was like, I couldn't
Wow.
believe it. We decapitated a fly with electricity.
Maybe it was the most merciful killing a fly could ever ask for.
Yeah, I
though.
felt bad for doing it. It felt like a cool video. It might get flagged.
What if you put some sweet, like, epic music under it too?
Or like
That
some,
would make it less cool.
no, it's flies. No one gives a shit about flies.
Flies are a pest.
You
I
kill
would-
flies or mosquitoes. No one gives a fuck.
See-
There are videos of lasers frying mosquitoes
The
on
thing
YouTube.
is, though,
True.
once,
Yeah, it's true.
once it goes on, people are gonna be like, "The poor fly. Oh,
Yeah,
True.
there's going to be some prick who's going to get that
I
taken
can't
down.
believe you killed that
I was
fly
talking to
in
Gavin
slow
about
motion."
that. I don't remember what movie it was, and I'm sure the internet's about to scream at me for it. But there was
Dude,
a
I'll
scene.
scream at you
yeah,
for
right.
it.
Ah, scream it when we get home. There was a
do it
scene
here.
where an actor had to kill a bug, and they got like bugs on set to do so. It wasn't something that they'd like put in post. And there were a bunch of messages, especially from PETA, saying, "Oh, how dare you! You've killed this innocent bug. Why didn't you do it in post?" And it was like, "Well, it's a ton of money. That's why we didn't."
Yeah,
do
probably
it.
don't
but,
want to
you know.
spend like 12 grand on a CG bug.
Yeah, can you put the fly in my hand right now? Good.
What was that? Was it Indiana Jones where the guy's doing a scene and the fly lands on his face and then walks into his mouth and he swallows it? while
Oh
he's
yeah,
still alive?
that's is that Raiders of the Lost Ark? I
I
think.
think so. Yeah.
Ugh.
He
I
like
didn't know that.
he didn't even ruin his take. A bug goes into his mouth and he's just like, and he keeps going.
What a pro.
And they use that take.
Yeah, it's in the movie. It's like one of the Nazis. He's wearing like the desert camo.
Yeah.
I gotta go look at this again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
It's nowhere near as intense as Leonardo DiCaprio getting his hand all bloodied in Django, but that's what it makes me think of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty intense too.
Brave.
Good man.
Man, we have just thinking about all this filming and people getting hurt makes me scared for all the filming we're doing now and all the things that we have going on around here. What are the odds that someone's gonna get hurt before we're
I'm
we're done
amazed
with
Gavin
all
and
this?
Michael didn't get hurt in any of Immersion.
Pretty good.
They were fine.
Honestly, the biggest on-set injuries are accidents. They're rarely like the subject of the scene. It's
Yeah.
usually like someone
Case in
getting
point.
crushed by a light or something.
Case in point for the immersion, just as far as stupid shit. We did the Mario Kart episode where I flipped the go-kart over and like I slid across my shoulder, but I was wearing, the suit and it had tons of padding in it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it was sore, but that was about it. But, the way the video came out, it was like edited out of order and stuff like that and whatever. So I think I did my run before yours. So I was done and I took part of the padding out. Like all I remember is I was wearing less padding than I was when I was actually in the run. And that's when you were doing your wrap up video and you were still in the cart and I run into the frame and I'm like, it's me. And like I bounce off the cart. It was just seriously me being a dumbass, just trying to jump on Gavin's cart and flip over it. And like I slammed into it and hit the ground. That was the worst injury I had in the whole shoot. Like I had like a scab on my leg for like 3 weeks because of that. I was
I'm glad to finally hear the explanation of what you were going for because
Yeah.
being there, I was like, why the fuck did Michael just run full speed into the go kart?
Yeah, I was trying to
so
jump over it.
confused.
I was gonna just like flip over it, like parkour over it, and I ended up just smacking into it and falling on the ground. And that was the worst boo boo I got on that. That was worse than flipping the go kart. I was like,
I was laughing that in both instances too. Brandon and at least 2 other people on the set immediately turned to me and were like, "Are you okay? Like, are you gonna start crying, Lindsay?" And I'm like, "No, he's fine." I'm like texting or something like, "He's good. He's got it."
Don't worry about it.
You're making a fucking making a vine.
Yeah, nice.
I'm gonna save this for the wedding album.
Oh, I didn't get it. Can you do it again? Thanks. Dat flip though.
Yeah. You're right. It is always like the stupidest things. Like I didn't get injured at all because I was a scientist this season on Immersion. The closest I came to getting
Scientist.
injured was during the. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
During-
yeah, that was
What did you
that
hit
right
your-
there.
What did you hit your
There's the
leg on?
flip.
I think I either hit it on the cart or I smacked it on the ground, on the concrete or the asphalt. It was one or the other. But I was just like, ow.
It looks like we're going for some analysis
Ooh,
here.
that was-
You might have
that-
clipped it on the way
that
down.
was the most painful part of that entire shoot because I'm a fucking idiot.
During the trial shoot, we were out, at that motocross track, and the only
Rooster Teeth test track.
the Rooster Teeth test track.
Right, yeah.
Sorry, excuse me. The only bathroom was that like little shitty porta potty. that had a giant wasp nest in it.
Yeah.
That I didn't see until after I was done pissing. And like I turned around, it was like face full of wasps. I was like,
Jesus.
ooh, I'm not using this one again.
Yeah, you warned us.
Yeah, I was like,
Because there was another one way past that one, but you recommended we walk past the. It was like a color. You're like, don't go in the brown one. There's a wasp in there.
Yeah, it was a nest of them.
I was really out of it that day too, and I was wearing sunglasses when we were off of not doing our scene. And specifically, you said don't go into this color because there's a wasp nest. Go into another one. And I had tinted sunglasses, and I was like, they're all the same fucking color. They're like a dark blue. Which the fuck one do I go into? And they're like, Lindsay, take off your sunglasses. I was like, okay, good. This one, excellent.
Got your blue blockers on.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I ever told it on the podcast, but I was once on set where a guy got injured. And you know those the big scissor lifts, the blue genie ones? The guy had gone all the way up, like maximum height on it. And he was messing with the lights on the grid in the ceiling. And you can also drive them when they're at that height.
Yeah.
They're quite slow. So when that happens, it beeps really loud. So everyone's like, get the hell out of the way, this giant, basically column that's driving around.
Yeah.
And we just heard like, boop, boop, boop. And then it just complete silence. And he banged his head on the pole that was holding all the lights and was unconscious at the top.
Oh,
in the
shit.
Jesus.
and we just had to go to lunch. It was like, all right, well, that's lunch. And I guess they got him down.
They have
while we were-
controls at the bottom,
Wow.
don't they?
I don't know. He was like, people were like, oh, how are we going to get him down?
Jesus Christ.
What's gonna happen when he wakes up? He's like, where am I? Oh fuck, I'm still up here.
Yeah, they were like, Terry, that's lunch.
Terry's having
Like
a
a
kid.
concussion or like needed medical
You go get
attention.
Terry. We're going to go get some burgers.
Yeah, it was
Lord.
bad. We didn't see him for the rest of the shoot.
Or ever again,
dead?
maybe.
No, I don't think he died.
Terry died that day.
God.
Rest in peace, Terry.
I wanted to point out something that we have here on set. This is our first, I guess, really live post-RTX podcast. And after the RT podcast panel, someone from the
Bless you.
panel came up and gave us this picture. You can see it in front of the coffee table down there. It's a signed picture by Schmorgan Heckengard. And he signed it as Schmorgan Heckengard.
I love that we've actually affected his life now. He wrote Schmorgan Heckengard on a picture of himself.
He knows about us. Oh, there it is.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's signed,
so
and then it
awesome.
says Schmorgan Heckengard on it.
I still like to believe that a fan was like, "Can you write this?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, can you spell that again one more time? What the hell are you saying?" He's like, Smorgan? That's SMO.
Pretty sure that's probably what happened.
It's your name, idiot. Just write your name.
Please put a diagonal line through the O, just for good measure.
Fun fact, we went to Supernova, saw him walk through a room. Like,
Nice.
there he is.
Nice, dude.
That was the most. We saw him one time for like
I was
10 seconds.
telling
He
Gus
literally
about
walked
that.
through a room.
Yeah, he walked to go into like there was our area and then there was like super VIP area where he hung out
Him
by
and
himself.
Stan Lee were hanging out. I think they were like playing
bros.
Goldfish or something.
Connect 4.
Because they were like, there was all the guests and then him and Stan Lee. And they were like, fuck off,
yeah.
peasants.
So as he walked
Well, like,
by, we
they
went,
weren't like
"Ah,"
that, but-
and that was it.
We just didn't really see him.
Yeah,
What'd y'all think of Australia?
Oh, it
was
was amazing.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was awesome.
I
Like
want to
you-
live there.
I didn't want to come home.
Did you practice saying it was amazing together?
No,
in
no
unison?
way.
Was
She
amazing?
fucking copied me. She knew
Sorry.
where I was going and she stole it.
Where'd y'all go? Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane?
No,
Perth.
we went to Perth, yeah.
Perth. Yeah. Everyone in Perth too was like, "Oh, why? Oh, you made it to Perth?" We're like, "Come on, love
Yeah, they
yourself
hate
more. Of course, we're
themselves
gonna
there.
come."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They apologize to you when you go there.
Yeah,
We
they're
did,
like, I'm
yeah.
so sorry. Thank you for
You're in
coming, but
Perth? I'm
seriously,
sorry.
sorry. Yeah,
had a
because
good
they're like,
time in
nobody
Perth.
comes to Perth. And like Stan Lee, like he didn't come to Perth. And Nikolai
Jamie,
was
yeah.
supposed to go to Perth, but then he was filming in
Well,
Sydney.
I almost called him
So
Jamie.
then he canceled his Perth trip. So they were just saying like a lot of people come to Australia and they'll go to Brisbane and Adelaide and Sydney and they never come to Perth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Perth,
because it's
Perth
like
was great.
you take that long flight to get to like the eastern coast of Australia.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, great. Get on another fucking 6-hour
Yep.
flight to get your ass
Yep.
out to Perth.
Yeah, well, we were already in Melbourne, so it wasn't that bad. I think it was only 3 hours,
Oh, really?
3.5 hours from Melbourne.
Oh.
Because Melbourne was like 2 hours from Sydney. And then it's like another 3 hours to Perth.
That's not as bad as I thought.
Melbourne's similar to Austin in a lot of ways too, with the restaurants and the shops. I mean, everywhere we walked felt like we were going down Congress or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you made it out to like the Fitzroy district or that stuff in Melbourne. It's like a lot of little shops and like coffee shops and shit. The place is
We,
really
we
cool.
did some shopping.
We did.
We walked around. I don't know like the specifics. No, we were in Fitzroy.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm sure we were
off,
there.
Brunswick.
Yeah, we were in Fitzroy because that's
Maybe
like
I
where
was
the
really drunk.
No, because I was looking up the addresses and stuff, and that's where the movie was that we went to. We saw How to Train Your Dragon 2 while we were there.
Is it the Australian version?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Is it?
Did they like redub it with
Everything's
Australian
in an
actors?
accent. Yeah.
That would have been good though.
Everyone asked us to do an Australian accent too. We're like, God, stop, because it's just we're gonna embarrass ourselves.
Everyone there
Absolutely.
wants
Yeah.
to do an Australian accent, and then you do it, and they just like, that sucks. And they just like, tell us how awful it is. And I'm like, I got somebody was like, fuck you, do an American accent. And they're like, oh no. It's like, well, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like
I didn't fucking come out and like tote it as the greatest accent in the world. We're like, no, do it. Oh, boo, that's awful.
I came out here to have a good
All
time,
right.
and I'm feeling attacked right now.
It's just a thing to make people feel good. It's like when
Hashtag
people.
ball pit.
It's like when someone will ask you to try on your glasses.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen with people who wear glasses, and they're like, "Oh Christ, your eyes are shit."
Oh,
Ugh."
you're blind. Oh my god.
We had a lot of people come to the booth too, and they were like, "You sound so American now. You don't sound that way in your videos." I'm like, "Really? Do we
Yeah,
sound
people
different?"
kept saying we sound American. I was like,
Yeah.
dude,
Dude.
funny, you sound Australian.
That's absolutely true, though. If you watch something on TV, like say I watch an American show, if I hear the same American in real life, they sound way more American.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what is way more American? Do
They
it
just
now.
sound like.
Oh yeah,
It's funny, I kept doing that.
we all have lockjaw.
do
People
that
were
a
like,
lot.
can I get an autograph? And I'm like, yeah, sure.
Well, like if you were to do a sound effect for the like a British accent would be like, "Boop, boop, boop," wouldn't it? And American would be like, "Ah, bam, bam."
I feel like British would be like, "Oh," but that's just because of you.
Boop, boop.
Yeah, boop 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 boop.
boop, boop, boop. Crumpets. The queen. Boop,
Oh,
boop, boop.
corgis, yes.
Yeah, but it's very like sharp and swift. And American is like slack-jawed and lazy.
Dan was doing a little bit of it during your.
Jesus.
Fuck
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
No,
take that,
Fuck.
America.
We were just talking about the insult here a second ago. Don't take this the wrong way, but y'all sound slack-jawed and slow.
You
You
lazy
fucking
fucks.
idiots, you lazy fucking morons.
It's just a way to describe the different accents. I'm not saying
Slack-jawed and lazy.
not
It's
saying mine
just a
is-
description.
I'm not saying mine is better. Mine sounds
Damn.
weird here, but
Dan
No,
was
you said
doing
yours
an
sounds-
American too. Yeah.
Well, I was
Swift.
like, the thing is, like, ours is slack-jawed and lazy, and his is like faster and intellectual and kinder.
Pristine.
But it's not an insult.
Pristine, but not in a compliment way.
I feel like Gavin with the British accent as well, with Dan as well, it's slower. I don't know. You guys feel like you enunciate more and everything's like poetry. You're like, ooh, here, let me tell you about my lunch. Yes, I had salad today. Ooh, it was lovely.
What?
Stuff like that.
What
I
are
don't
you
know.
talking about?
That's how I hear them.
Gavin and Dan, when Gavin and Dan get together, it's just like Gavin devolves. Like Gavin
True.
started out, I don't know, like in the middle, like British, and then he's been here for so long. His accent has wavered. He makes his face. Absolutely has. It absolutely has. His accent's so much less than it was 2 years
Yeah.
ago. But then he gets back to Dan. It's like. And the
No,
two of
it's
them,
boop, boop,
it's, you don't know what the fuck they're saying.
the only thing I changed is that in videos I talk way slower. Because when I first arrived, and I'd be like, "Oh, what are you doing, you bloody prick?" And everybody would be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, but you talk like that all the time now, pretty much.
Yeah.
We were talking shit.
Slower.
We were talking shit the other day. Dan and I were talking shit about Gavin.
Yeah.
Over in the Achievement Hunter office, and I guess Gavin heard us and came walking in.
Yeah.
And Gavin came walking in like this, like with his arms kind of out. And Dan goes, "What are you doing, Gavin? Carrying carpets?" And then Gavin like got all deflated and like kind of like shriveled up and then like ran out of the room.
I didn't even know what you were talking about. I just heard my name. What were you talking about?
We were talking shit about you.
What were you saying?
What an asshole you
That
are.
was happening a lot, like while Dan was here. We kept talking shit about Gavin, and then like the shit that Gavin says about Dan, because Dan doesn't watch any of the videos or anything like that, and so he's just like, "What'd you say? What?" And Gavin's just like, "Well, that's how it is, B."
He wanted
he's
me to-
like, "That's not what happened."
We talk
What?
about-
no, and then it's
Yeah.
just go at it.
He wanted me to clarify a story that I told. Apparently, I told it wrong on some format that we have. But the girl wasn't asleep when he fingered her.
There you go. Mystery solved, internet.
That was one of the many
So,
stories.
yeah.
No. What you been saying, B?
Not true.
That's not true. What? I sound like a dick.
Dan was upset because he said that you make him sound so dumb in all of your impressions of him. It's like, it's true. Every time Gavin talks about Dan, Dan's just so confused. Like, what are you on about, B? What's this?
Yeah.
Huh?
That's funny, 'cause that's
not-
the way Gavin is.
Not flattering at all.
Yeah, right?
What are you on about is like your top 5 sayings.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't understand what people are talking about most of the time.
It is funny watching
Because
that dynamic
everyone else
too.
is so dumb.
It's true.
And slack-jawed.
Gavin never understands anything.
We're slack-jawed and lazy.
Hey, Gavin.
Well, any other
That's usually how I
time,
talk to him.
even in Achievement Hunter, I don't know. I mean, we make fun of Gavin quite a bit for his intelligence, but the second Dan's here, it's like Gavin's the alpha male, and he's like, "You're fucking stupid, Dan," and Dan's
It's
like,
true.
"Ooh,"
It's true. He unloads on Dan.
which is even funnier because Dan's like this muscle-bound dude. He's in the military, and Gavin's just like, "Fuck you," like to your face.
God, I'm
He's like, "Fuck you, Dan. You stupid prick. Shut up." I was pointing up towards the sky like Dan was much taller
True.
than Gavin for
Dan
the audio
did-
listeners.
Dan did do an American accent too during the slow-mo panel. I was trying to get to that as well. He kept saying dollars.
Yeah.
And he nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job, Dan.
Is
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
the ultimate American word to
I
say?
guess.
Dollars.
He
kept
loosened his
saying
jaw
quid.
a little bit, and
Yeah.
it came right
Dan
out.
did a funny bit on the second Achievement Hunter panel we did at RTX on Sunday. He waited in line, and he came up as a fan and asked the question
I don't
during
think he
the
waited
Achievement
in line.
Hunter
I think he
panel.
just went straight
Well,
to the
yeah,
front.
he didn't.
Yeah.
He like darted out and he like hid down because it's super hard to see, you know,
Yeah.
when you're on the stage with all the lights and stuff. And we were just answering questions, and then Dan's like, "Hey guys, I'm Dan, big fan. I was just wondering what I got to do to get a job." That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. That's
I didn't
pretty funny.
know. He didn't tell me that he was going to do that.
Dan's a funny guy. We did I
We
don't
said
know if
that
it's
Dan
a-
should
if
replace
it's a
Gavin.
Spoiler.
Yeah, we should
We
swap
did
him.
Yeah,
we
why
did a
not?
let's play with Dan while he was here.
We did.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Technically, I think we did 3.
We did 2. Let's see how many come out.
Yeah.
One
We'll
was
see.
not great.
It was fun though, because we all used to play. I mean, you've played with Dan. Mm-hmm. You probably didn't
I've
realize
known
at the
for
time.
years.
But like 7 years ago, we all played
I remember.
a game together.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember his gamer tag still. I was like, that's the stupidest gamer tag in the world.
What was his gamer tag?
Danino G.
Well, do you know what it was before that?
Uh-uh.
It was Badger on roids.
Oh, that's right. I played with him when he was
And
there.
I made him change it, and then I took Badger on roids and never gave it back.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Where does Badger on roids come from?
I don't know.
It's not like an inside joke. It's just there.
I'm not.
They were probably like 12 years old when they made that.
It was.
Dude, I like badgers and I
it
like
was-
roids.
It was before I was friends with him. It was probably when he was sat by the trophy
I
cabinet.
did that I didn't convince him to change it, but I did that to Jack.
Yeah.
Before I started working here. I remember that was the thing. It was pretty funny because he had his gamer tag was Monkey5225 or some shit like that. And he had that for a while, and I was doing Rage Quit from New Jersey. I hadn't moved here yet. And I came home from work one day, and I get on Xbox Live, and it was like within an hour or so, I see Jack P is online. And instantly, I was like, Jack changed his gamer tag. I wonder if anybody took the old one. So I immediately, this is back when you could get gold for a month for free,
Yeah.
just making an account. So initially, they would let you pick your gamer tag when you made an account. You get to pick, you know, an available one, and then you got to pay to change it. But then they instituted a thing where they just gave you a gamer tag, like a just random one, like that's what it is, but you get one free change. So what I would do is I would make gamer tags and just have them ready in case I wanted to grab one, because you get one free change. So it was seriously like, oh, Jack signed online. I wonder if Monkeys52225 is taken. I went to a gamer tag that I already made like a month ago. I had one free change on it, and I just changed it like immediately, like in a minute, and I had his gamer tag. So then, because Jack obviously went through all the bullshit on the podcast where like his identity stolen and people broke into his fucking house and all that shit, and his life was like a hellhole. I'm like, I'm gonna make that even worse. So I made his profile, because he always complained about people trying to imitate him and stuff. I made the profile all like it was Jack. Like I'm like, hey, I'm Jack from Achievement Hunter. Da-da-da. I made an avatar that looked just like him. I put there was some kind of rooster logo as like your avatar icon, and I put that. Then I started messaging everybody on his friends list saying that this was Jack, and that that this guy Jack P was imitating me. And then I sent one to Jack. So I just didn't say anything about it. I just sent the messages out, and I don't know, like a day or two went by, and I didn't want to blow my load and like go right to Jack and make it too obvious. 2 or 3 days go by, and then I get an aim from Jack. He's like, have you fucking seen this guy? Has this guy messaged you? And I'm just like, what? What's happening? He's like, this fucking guy, he took my gamer tag. He's going around pretending to be me. And it was like this whole AIM conversation, because I mostly talked to Jack on AIM as far as like Achievement Hunter stuff. So it was like this whole conversation he had, and he was talking about how he was going to message E, and E was looking into it, like at Microsoft, and they were going to get the gamer tag locked and all this. And I just went along with it the whole time. And I was kind of talking to him on and off for a few hours, and finally he like goes in the AIM, and he's just like, all right, I'm going to head out, you know, blah, 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 I'll talk to you later. I'm like, cool, yeah, I'll talk to you later. By the way, I stole your gamer tag. Like, I just waited right till the very end of the conversation, and that got me a lot of street cred in this building before I got here. I think that's part of the reason, too, why Jeff and Bernie hired me.
That's why we didn't have to jump you in. We're
Yeah,
like,
it
all
was
right.
like, this was like the
guy's cool.
hardcore shit on Jack time during
Yeah.
the podcast. Like, when he kept getting, you guys would make fun of him for living with his parents and stuff like that.
He would always
So-
like try and walk off the podcast.
and he would walk off the podcast sometimes. So it was right during that. So you guys were like, okay, you're good. You're good. You stole his gamer
See,
tag.
I would have kept it going until I was in the same
It's like,
building as
it's
him.
like when
and-
you're in prison and you
I
just
was
punch
going that
someone.
one. Yeah, I got there and was just
Punch
like
the biggest guy.
established dominance.
Michael got a tattoo of a teardrop after that.
Yeah,
I
I
would've-
got a tattoo of Jack's teardrop after that.
I would have
He was
stayed.
pretty annoyed. He took it well though, but he was pretty annoyed at first.
I would have kept until you're in the same building, and then just messaged him with stuff like nice green T-shirt and stuff like that, just to see if
You
could-
would do that.
How do you know that?
Are you in this room?
That was a really shit Jack impression. I'm sorry. I'm a female.
Oh,
Michael does it better.
Here, let me read this thing.
Do it as Jack.
No.
This podcast is brought to you by my dill hole.
You want to this podcast is brought to you.
Gavin, do you have any comments about that read?
It's great.
You're just gonna snicker over there.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know what your motivation was. I feel like it was a little lackluster.
Money.
I'm thinking the most honest I've ever heard Gus be.
Gus is always honest.
Give me one of those Ruby Red Birds. One of the things I wanted to talk about tonight. That
Oh, I want one too.
Is that this
I
one?
Can I get a normal shiner?
I somehow missed it this weekend. I didn't hear about it till today. Was Dashcon
Oh my
man.
God. Also, by the way, that was my hashtag ball pit earlier.
ball pit? Yeah.
That's an
Ball pit,
epic
get the ball
story,
pit.
guys.
God,
So
I'm so
apparently
glad I'm
it's-
aware of that.
It's an odyssey of events.
It's
from what
it's
I've
a
heard.
convention that Tumblr users decided to have. I guess they saw VidCon, which was
Yes.
put on for YouTube, and they thought we should have something similar for Tumblr, so they made
Yeah.
Dashcon in
Great
beautiful
theory. Yes.
Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yep.
Where?
Yep.
And
He just said.
I guess it was just a disaster.
That's
That's what people are saying.
Yeah.
From reportedly, attendees showed up, and immediately the con organizer started asking everyone for donations because they needed money to pay the hotel.
heard that. $17,000, I
Yes.
believe, is what I keep seeing people tweeting and
So
tumbling
They
about.
raised $17,000, and then everyone found out the hotel didn't need any more money.
Yeah. So they have no idea what the money went to. In
It,
the first
it went
place.
to a bitchin' ball pit.
Nice. Damn straight.
I guess like everything was so disorganized that the
Yeah.
Welcome to Night Vale podcasters were there.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
they decided they had to cancel their panel because things were so poorly organized.
Not Joseph Fink. I
they
can't
said,
remember these
Oh,
other
there it
names.
is. And so
Yeah.
as a
That's
reward,
a real photo. That's real.
everybody who could not attend the Welcome to Night Vale podcast got compensated with a free hour in the ball pit.
Yep.
Yep.
This is a
Fair
real
in the ball
thing
pit,
that
yeah.
happened. They had a ball pit and they had a bouncy castle.
I was telling Lindsay before the podcast started that when I have stress dreams about RTX not being done, like that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
We need
Like,
a
just-
ball pit next RTX though. That has to happen.
We
I'm sorry.
we obviously we need a ball pit and we need a bouncy castle now.
Yeah.
They're definitely innovating.
They had a BDSM panel too.
They
That
did.
was interesting.
Yep.
That
They had a
wasn't.
BDSM
was it in the
panel.
ball pit?
No,
No,
I
maybe.
wish.
What's
Incorporate
BDSM?
It's like bondage,
sadism, masochism. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
sex stuff.
S&M.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It's the form
apparently,
of it. I'm not
it
an
wasn't
expert.
age gated, is a lot of the complaints I see. And they were like, well, why the hell wasn't this 18 and up? That doesn't make sense. So apparently, kids who were like,
Kids are
coming
into it?
hanging out.
why are we going to discriminate?
Experimenting, jeez.
Kiddie bondage.
Let them figure
Yeah.
it out.
Yeah, it's,
got this.
It's, ugh.
Dude, did you just come from the anal panel? You too.
Someone peed in the ball pit, I'm being told.
Oh, yeah, I heard that too. Someone pissed in the ball pit, and people were like, man, I was just hanging out, having a good time in the ball pit, and then I'm wading through piss.
Oh, God.
Oh my god. Yeah, we're not getting a ball pit at RTX. We're not
We
doing
should get a
that.
ball pit for achievement hunter.
Yeah.
I'll put a ball. We could fit a ball pit in that room.
People
This is like in the middle of a let's play. If you fuck up, it's like timeout. Get in the ball pit. You just put somebody in the ball pit for 5 minutes.
Sometimes there's piss, sometimes there isn't. You don't know.
I need to send you a link to a video where it's just the fucking ball pit. It's a picture of it, and someone just tracks in slowly on the ball pit as that song. Was it?
It's the song from
Donnie
the Gears of
Darko.
War, the
Yeah.
original Gears
Worn
of War.
out
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, Mad
faces.
World. Yeah, Mad World. There you go. Yeah, it's just that zooming in on the ball pit. It's fucking hysterical.
That's awesome.
It's just, but yeah, with the Night Vale, the podcast, apparently like they paid for their own flights, they
Yeah.
paid for their own hotels. Again, reportedly, supposedly, reportedly, I don't think is a word. But then they got there, and then they were basically told, not only are you not getting compensated for the fees that they were supposed to be reimbursed for, but they weren't going to pay them for the
Yeah.
performance at all, which I guess was established beforehand. So they
Right,
were
because
like,
they were on tour, I believe.
they were like, yeah, and they had an apology. You know, I read they made a whole thing, and they were like apologized to their fans, and they're like, sorry, you know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing we could do about it.
They were
And
very
were like,
professional
you don't,
about
you know,
it.
fans don't deserve this, but you know, it's just like, you know, hopefully we'll see you. I guess they said in the Chicago area. I guess that's where they're from. or
I
whatever.
think what I had read was that the event was hoping to have somewhere like 3,500 to 4,000 attendees, but they were capping their ticket sales at 500. So people were like, how doesn't make any sense?
Plus, I
Interesting.
also heard that for a first-time con, you know, and obviously for what the funding that was put into it, I heard that tickets are like $65 for
Yeah.
for tickets too, which is a fucking lot.
And I think day
And that's-
passes were, I think they were 35 or 40.
So are you the most relaxed now that you will be all year?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, speaking of conventions, Gus is
every
good.
week it gets worse.
I want to
from
go back to something real fast. So we talked about the bouncy castle at Dashcon. The first RTX back in 2011, when it was in the field.
I remember, dude.
I don't know if
We were there, Gus.
Right around the corner from the office was that like bouncy castle place. I don't know if you ever went in there.
The
Wazoos
yeah,
or
is that where
something?
they had the inflatable tube people too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wanted to have
Or flailing arm
RTX
mans?
events
Wacky
in
waving
there
flailing arm
in
mans?
2011. I wanted to just like rent the place out and have the whole event in there. But I guess like it's really geared towards kids. They're like, yeah, if anyone weighs more than like 140, they just like shoot all the air out of it.
Oh.
I was like,
And
no,
Gus
that's
just
not
gets
going to
sad.
work.
Aw.
Yeah, it was really sad. I was really looking forward to like planning an event and having like a lot of shit in there. But we could not do it. Not literal shit.
Maybe that could be a thing.
Did you see on that note too, did you see the news story? I think it was kids in the UK, but they were hanging out at a birthday party. I told Michael about this. And it seems like the most horrifying experience to have as a kid. They were hanging out at a birthday party, and then a big gust of wind took the bouncy house.
Oh my God, yeah.
Up into the air. And apparently they were pretty fucking high up. Like they said something like 5 or 6 stories, which is crazy when you're like 4 hanging out at a friend's birthday party. And apparently they got so high that eventually they just had to jump, and people tried to like catch them and everything. But that's terrifying.
Like they had to jump out. It literally was just floating away
Like,
with the kids in
They
it.
had enough time to like discuss jumping out.
I don't fucking know. I wasn't there, but yeah, they were like the kids finally had to escape from the bouncy house
I
as it
guess
floated
they
into
just
the
jumped the
streets.
fuck
I
out before it
would've
kept going higher.
I would have just grabbed on and clung for my life.
Oh, I don't know. I was
Jumping
out of
at
that
6
house.
stories?
Yeah, I think there's the picture.
Well, it's like what
Yeah,
happens? It
look at
floats
that.
away, and then yeah,
Look
I
at
know,
that.
right? And then like what happens though when it pops and you're fucking 5 million feet in the air? Then you're really fucked.
Horrifying.
What's
Then
not
it's
gonna
like
pop.
Indiana Jones shit, and you're like falling from the
Just
raft, and
get
you
in-
hope you land on a mountain.
Just get in the refrigerator.
yeah.
You're fine. You'll be fine from
It
nuclear
wouldn't pop,
fallout.
though. It might deflate.
That's like
but at
an
least it'll
episode
get
of
us-
Are You Afraid
What
of
if
the
a
Dark
bird
right
flew in
there?
it with his beak and popped it? What if you got hit by a fucking plane in a bouncy castle?
What if someone
That'd be horrifying.
peed in that bouncy house while they were up in the air?
I'd be pissing and shitting to try and bring the thing back
That doesn't make
down.
any sense because it was already in your body.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
not
know.
like-
There's no
I'm stuck in
displacement.
a bouncy castle 500 feet in the air. I'm not using my brain, okay? I'm trying to get back down.
Everybody shit now.
I would be jumping. Jump! Try to go down.
Why is
I would be running around like a fucking lunatic.
Why is there
As we
shit
lift
falling
off
from the
planet
sky?
Earth. Why
Why
have we
down with
invested
stuff that was already on here?
Why have we invested so many millions of dollars in the fucking like NASA when we can just get in a bouncy castle and float in the fucking stratosphere? That Red Bull guy was fucking stupid. What are you doing, Felix? Just get in a bouncy castle, strap 3 of them together. I'll go to the moon. That's crazy.
that'd be great if he bounced off too in his
I would
launch?
have
Like,
jumped
boom.
out at 10 fucking feet. Like, oh shit.
No, because it would have been awesome for a while. It would have been like, whoa,
Yeah.
and then it would have been like,
There's a fine
oh,
line somewhere in there where the awesome stops.
Maybe they thought it was a magic bouncy castle for the first
Mommy,
like
I'm
minute.
flying. Billy, jump! Like, what the fuck do you do that?
Honestly-
My kid is fucking flying away.
honestly, I think the smartest thing to do would be to go to sleep. Because when you're
Oh
asleep,
shit, we're flying away. We're 80 feet in the air.
I
Everyone, sleep.
Mike-
just can't deal with this right now. Dead weight.
when your
Jesus.
body's all limp from sleep, you don't get hurt as much.
True. Michael's gonna be shitting and Gavin's gonna be sleeping if they escape in a bouncy house.
I throw my shit at Gavin. Wake up.
Michael, I'm trying to sleep
Wake
here.
up. We're
To
gonna
the bloody
die.
kip.
It worked out for the dude on the forklift, right?
Yeah.
Or on the scissor lift. He was like, oh, this sucks. I'm just going to go to sleep for a
The
bit.
kid just like had a bottle and hit himself in the head.
I have heard that, but like for tornadoes, people who pass out in the middle of being sucked up and they wake up, they're like, I'm fine because I passed out and the tornado just threw me like a rag doll.
Yeah, it sucks that you can't activate that when you're awake,
Activated.
like a ragdoll mode.
Yeah. I'd like to go limp, please.
Oh, this does not look good. I better turn off. Hopefully I wake up in a better situation. Like, is that like somebody tries to mug you in an alley and you're just like, I'm out of here. You just like fucking drop.
You imagine being in the passenger seat of a car and the driver thinks he's going to crash, so he's just like, ugh.
God.
And the driver's like, the passenger's
And
like,
you're like, I already used my sleep for the day.
you're going to do it once
You got like
per day.
one every 24 hours.
That'd be awesome. I would do that all the time,
God.
just for a laugh.
Moral of the story, don't trust bouncy houses. It will fuck you.
Well, when I
Yeah,
read
that's
that
crazy.
they'd installed it correctly, they'd staked it to the
That's
ground.
what, yeah, they said they staked it down and there's just a huge gust of wind happened to pull it all up. And the guy who was running the party, his poor father was like, I'm so sorry. Your kids were lost in this bounce house
Wait,
that
so this
floated
was in
up.
the UK?
Apparently.
So I guess there was no
yeah.
guns to shoot it down.
No, that's
Also,
the
would
difference.
never happen in America with fat American kids. Those kids would never get lifted off the ground. That's what I was thinking the whole time.
Slack-jaw
And
kids.
right when you said UK, yeah, they'd be like, "Duh, dollars," and then that thing would be firm. You don't even have to stake it down.
true.
It would just be stuck there.
Give Billy some more Mickey D's. He'll be fine.
Cheeseburger,
Mom, win me another burger.
chicken nuggets.
We found out it's called Macca's in Australia.
Yeah.
We had some Macca trips.
Mackie D's.
Did you eat any of those fucking disgusting hamburgers with beets on them?
No.
Yes, actually, I
Wait,
did.
hamburgers with beets? You
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
No, I didn't eat shit with beets on it.
I like beets, so it was
Ugh.
delish.
I thought it was a fucking tomato the first time I went there. I was so disappointed.
I had kangaroo.
Most
that
of
was
the food
amazing.
we had was really good there, actually.
So good.
Kangaroo was good.
want
I had
that
my
meat.
mind blown this week.
I'm sorry.
Ever since I moved here, I keep seeing cilantro and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what the hell is this crap? And arugula. I realized they're just rocket and coriander with different names. And I wondered, like, I didn't realize that I just hadn't had any coriander since I've been here.
I had
Those
no
second
idea
two
what
words
rocket
make no sense
was.
to me.
The first time I went to New Zealand, like there was a dish, like I asked the waiter, like, what is this? So, blah, 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 whatever, covered in rocket. I was like, what's rocket?
Yeah, rocket with a Q.
And he was like, it's rocket.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, what is that? He goes, rocket. I was like, yeah, what the fuck is that? I'm asking you. It took me years to figure this out because the fucking asshole couldn't tell me what rocket was.
It's arugula.
Rocket, and then coriander is
Cilantro.
Cilantro. Yeah.
Makes total sense now.
Does cilantro taste good to you? Because I know there's certain people who don't, or their fucking pheromones
I'm
make
not
it taste
honestly a
bad.
big fan of any of that crap.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Oh, I
Just
like
like,
it.
if anything I eat has a green leaf on it, I'm just going to take it off.
Yeah, I agree.
You never
If it's
ate
for
it?
I totally
garnish
agree
or
with you.
flavor or whatever.
Even if it's a garnish, I used to eat them all the time as a kid because I
You'd-
figured it was a whole part of the meal.
You'd
so
eat
now
like
as
the
an adult-
parsley on the side?
Yeah, I would, and now I still do it.
You still do? Yeah. Isn't that gross?
I don't
I
know.
like
it's
how
not-
it went. Dude, when I was a kid, I did this.
I still
When I
do
still
it.
do it, though. Actually, now. So your whole life you've eaten that shit.
Yes, it stuck with me.
It's fucking gross. Anytime I think of like a dish served with like a little sprig of parsley, I always think of like Denny's, like the shittiest food possible.
What, trying to make it look nice.
And they've got like a tiny ass little sad thing of parsley on the side.
Get some steak Denny's.
Yeah.
Get a $7 steak at Denny's.
I'm not above Denny's, especially when I'm drunk.
Denny's
I'll go
is
there.
okay.
Denny's is gross.
Denny's
mean,
is
it's-
gross.
It's food mostly.
not.
When you need something in
Denny's, it's food, asterisk,
Yeah.
mostly.
And Michael's in the logo, like, yeah.
No,
Asterisk.
Michael's in the logo like this. It's food mostly. You can eat it.
Man, I can't remember the last time I went to Denny's. I was definitely drunk, but it was probably like 10 years
You
ago or
have to be.
more. Yeah. God, I can't stand it. There's so many. I mean, I feel like in Austin in particular, there's not a lot of like 24-hour food choices for some reason. It's a lot of shitty stuff. It's like
Whataburger.
Yeah.
yeah, Whataburger.
Kirby
Is that
Lane.
24 hours?
Yeah.
I think Kirby
one of
Lane's
the great
might not be
ones.
24 hours anymore.
What?
I think they set hours.
No.
Yeah.
That's crazy because it's a diner. Like in New Jersey, there's a diner every 7 feet, and they're all 24 hours. But it's also why I get burned out on diners. Lindsay's a huge diner fan. I just don't give a shit.
It still has like the fancy air to it, I guess. where
What's
I'm like,
fancy
ooh.
about a
There's
diner?
nothing fancy
It
about
feels
it
like
at
you're
all.
Parsley.
watching.
Yeah.
It feels like
Yeah.
you're watching a movie that takes
It's
place
like
in New
90
York.
cent
I don't know.
coffee. Free refills. It's so fancy.
I could find love here. Maybe.
Jesus, too soon.
I know, right?
That's before I found Michael,
Jeez.
obviously.
Earlier, Lindsay was walking up to the set, and I was like, "Oh, hey, what's up, Tuggy?" She goes, "Not anymore." And I was like, "Oh yeah, what's up, Jugs?" No, wait. I was like, "Never mind." I was like, "I did not call you that."
All right.
I was like, "That's gonna get me a talk from Yvonne."
You don't know how many tweets I'm going to get now. That's just what's up, Jugs.
I was like, "Bad word choice." Was just talking.
I should be like, sup, balls.
Just give it right back.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess Jones is the new nickname. I've been called Tuggy forever,
It's
though.
the new nickname.
Well, especially when I played sports in high school, everyone just said Tuggy. I was never Lindsay. They're like,
Welcome to
"Sup, Tuggy?"
everyone else in high school.
I know.
Everyone
Shit.
calls everyone by their last name.
Nah, were you free?
That's what I was when I grew up. I had like 8 friends, and we all called each other by our last name. It's just like a stupid high school
Were you
thing.
Sorola?
No. Well,
Bam.
no, I wasn't.
I got called Vinny at school.
That's weird.
What'd you call Vinny?
It's just the last half of my name with knee.
Interesting.
And you're Italian?
Yeah.
Excellent
guess.
point.
I never got called Vinny.
And it's your middle name.
You never got called Call?
No.
Colo?
No one ever called me Cole. Yo, Collie.
Why
It's
not?
like Call
That's
with
the
an
last
E-
part of your
with an
name.
E
Yeah,
at
with
the
an E.
end.
You
Yeah.
never got called
You never called Ussin?
I did get called Tavo. It's a nickname for Gustavo.
Oh, nice.
So that one.
Did you really?
Yeah, that one.
What other nicknames did you have? Any?
Yeah.
Oh, are they inappropriate?
Yeah, they're terrible.
Not
I
able
don't
to
want to
do
get
it
into
here.
them.
Fair boy.
No, I just don't want to.
Is it racist?
No, God.
Jesus.
No.
I was thinking like Pussy Crusher or something.
Yeah, I imagine that was Gus's nickname in fucking middle school or high school.
When I weighed.
Guys, oh shit, Pussy Crusher's in the building.
When I was just as tall as I am now, but I weighed 40 pounds less, the Pussy Crusher.
Dude, if I were that stature, that would be my nickname to try and get some
the
street
fuck?
cred.
Oh my God.
You look like a total skinny geek in the Apple Switch video.
Yeah.
And you were in your 20s then. How old are you?
I was 24 when we made
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, so you were younger than me.
That's like pretty much how old you are now.
I'm older.
That's,
Yeah.
I said pretty much.
Yeah, you're barely older
I mean,
than
it's
that
within
now.
like a fucking year.
So how old are you now?
36.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're like
I'm
one
dying.
of the youngins.
You never asked
Yeah.
a gentleman
Of, like,
his
the
age,
OGs.
Of the
Gavin.
old people.
Yeah, of the old people, you're like the young one.
Plus,
You're
I don't
lu-
have a kid, so it keeps me really young.
You're lucky you're successful because otherwise you'd be really wondering what you were doing with your life, probably.
How is that different from anyone
What?
else
Isn't
in the
that anybody
planet?
in the world?
What does that mean? Hey, thank God you're successful, or else you'd be fucked.
Or else you'd be wondering what you're doing with your life.
This only applies to you.
that's
Hey, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. Like in my brain, you're like.
I still
8
have
on
that
there.
shirt. I wore that shirt last week. That's the
Did you
ugly.
really?
That's the ugly internet shirt.
Yes.
That is literally still in my rotation. I wear that shirt. I have shirts that are over half your age.
You got to keep it relevant.
Topical. Much like this Rooster Teeth Podcast shirt now available in the Rooster Teeth store.
RTP.
Ooh.
RTP.
Scientifically inaccurate.
Scientifically inaccurate since 2008. Probably should have said for 2 decades.
Yeah. That'd have been better.
Fair enough.
I can't believe we've been doing this. So we're almost to December. December's going to be 6 years of podcast. So we're closing in on just over episode 300. I think episode 300 is going to be in early December, maybe November.
Are you excited for
What
it?
should we do for the special
I
occasion?
don't know. We got to figure something out.
Ball pit.
we could do that.
I feel like I'm always.
Can we?
I never do anything. Like Jordan, every 50 animated adventures, like he does something
Some
big
people are
and
just
cool
fucking
for
show-offs,
animated adventures, and me,
you
it's
know?
just like it's another one.
Yeah.
Whatever. Fuck it.
Well, you know what we could do? It'd be awesome if we can contact the guy who set up the castle. If we can rig it so we do the podcast from a bouncy castle while it's floating away.
That'd
That'd be
be
an
amazing.
awesome podcast. set.
Only if you shit and you sleep.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
shit. I'll shit like crazy.
What are we
I'll be throwing
doing?
it everywhere. You guys do the podcast.
Okay.
Let's
Gavin's
enjoy.
sleeping and I'm shitting.
We'll
got
keep
the
it
easiest
professional.
job.
Yeah.
Until a piece of shit hits me in the ear.
Your job's still easy though.
What's the weirdest place you ever fallen asleep?
In the sound booth in Buda.
Okay.
I
The
just fell
sound.
asleep.
Okay, that was just a closet.
Yeah, I fell asleep upright against the padding.
Upright. Why was it upright? Why wouldn't you stretch out?
Because I stood up. I didn't mean to fall asleep. I just
Because you
felt-
were, of course, because you were. Okay, you didn't mean to fall asleep. There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
fell
I just
asleep
I went in
standing
there
up?
to lean, and then I fell
He like
asleep.
leaned backwards and fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
While he was
But you were
standing.
still like standing up. It was just propped.
Yeah,
a
I
little
was just
bit.
leant, and my legs were straight, so I didn't
How?
slump.
How? I can't sleep standing up or even like
I've never done
a
it
mode
since.
of that.
It was
Well,
a one-off.
'cause how long were you awake?
He activated his switch.
Oh yeah.
It was
Boop. It was
I
a
probably
defense
awake
mechanism.
for like 24 hours or something. We were doing episode 100.
Oh God.
That was the one where we had to
Was
make
that a big thing? Or
6 different
did you-
endings.
Was it
That
just another
sucked.
episode?
No, that was a big thing. That sucked.
How did you awake from this? Did someone find you?
Yeah,
Was
I
like,
think
Gavin.
Bernie or Jeff found me, or Jason.
The worst part about that is after we did episode 100, like it took forever. We were all really tired. We finally posted them.
I got on a plane and went to Anime Expo like that day.
I went home
Yeah.
and I went to sleep. I got to home like at 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. or something. Went to sleep. I was like, I'm gonna sleep. I never do this. I was like, I'm so tired. I'm gonna turn my phone off. I turned my phone off, put it on the nightstand. I was like, I'm just gonna sleep. I woke up, I think 2 or 3 hours later because Jeff was pounding on my window. I was like super groggy because we were like sleep deprived. I'd only slept a little bit. I was like, what the fuck's going on? It was
Fucked up your REM cycle.
still dark outside. He's like, open your door. He's just pounding on the window. I go to the door. I'm like, what? He goes, what the fuck's wrong with you? Why aren't you answering your phone? I was like, I turned it off. He goes, the website's down. You need to fix it.
Jesus.
I was like, oh, okay. So I guess everyone had been trying to call me. They couldn't get me. Jeff's the person who lived closest to me. I didn't live close to him at the time. I lived far. So they called him to drive to my house to wake me up.
That's amazing.
And they had,
Business.
they had to wake me up so I could get the website back online so people could download the video.
Weirdest
Yeah, we-
place you've fallen asleep.
I fell asleep Okay, it's a little bit of setup.
I feel like Gus would make an interesting one.
He's so old. He's got so much time.
There was a
It's
Tyrannosaurus.
full of aged wisdom.
I was driving with a friend of mine from Austin down to Houston. We were going to help a mutual friend of ours in Houston move. But we'd stayed up all night, like drinking and having fun in Austin. So we take off from Austin in the morning. And at the time, I had this little manual transmission pickup. And I'm driving. My friend cannot drive manual transmission. So we're on 71 driving out to Houston. And we're like, hey, man, I'm really tired. Can you drive for me? He's like, no, I can't drive standard. I can't do it.
Did you do the stick for him?
No, it's like, I'll tell you what. I'm going to get us up to 5th gear on the highway.
Oh, God.
That way you don't have to shift gears. From the passenger seat, you just hold the steering wheel. I'll leave my foot on the gas and I'll take a little nap.
What the fuck?
He was like, okay. So I put my foot on the gas. I lean back to fall asleep. And he reaches over to hold the steering wheel. And then, like, I start dozing off and I think, open your eyes. And I open my eyes to look at him. And he's slumped over asleep with his hand on the wheel. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to be driving.
Wow.
How are you alive?
How could anyone drive from the passenger seat? It's so stupid.
That's like I've had to hold the wheel for Lindsay before. She's
Yeah.
like, oh, can you grab it for a second? I'm like, yeah. And it's the most uncomfortable, awkward thing
Yeah,
ever.
You can't judge distance from
Where it's
there.
like, yeah, and it's just like, when you're in other lanes and there's cars next to you, it's like, take the wheel, take the wheel, take the wheel. All right, I can't imagine doing that more than 10 seconds.
That's like a quick adjustment, too, where I'm like, oh, I got to fix my belt or something like that. Okay, cool.
That's like 95% of the way to committing suicide.
Yeah, it's 95% of the way to a Darwin Award.
Good
How
lord.
did he die? Well, it looked like he wanted to take a nap. But he didn't want to stop driving.
So, wait. So you only had your foot on the gas, and
Yeah.
he only had a hand on the steering.
Yeah.
So you need to brake, and you're all dead.
Yeah.
You think
God
about
damn it.
braking?
No.
Well, they were on the highway.
He's already taken a
That
break.
car also did not have cruise control. It was like, so if I like stopped my foot down while asleep, we just would have taken off. Or
Jesus Christ.
Gus, you were the cruise control.
I was.
You
I
were
was
like,
I was
don't
in-
worry, I've
I-
got it locked in at 50.
I was in snooze control. That's what it said.
Mine's nowhere near as dangerous as that, but there's Bernie and Jack and them know, but there's a bus that goes around UT called the 40 Acres, and it goes around the entire campus. And one day after a test, I was just so tired that I fell asleep in the back of the bus. And I woke up after going a couple rounds. I was like, oh man, I'm still on the bus. Shit. Hey driver, how long have I been here? He's like, you were with me for 12 laps around campus. I was like,
Oh my
shit,
God.
I'm
He didn't wake
sorry."
you up?
No, just hanging out in the back sleeping.
I think he knows exactly. You've been here 12 laps. I've been watching.
Have you been watching me? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
He
I
should have
don't.
charged you 12 times.
Yeah.
I don't think I
Fuck.
fell asleep anywhere weird that I can
I
think
fell
of.
asleep in a pile of potatoes once.
Okay, that's
in the supermarket.
little
You didn't
strange.
mention that one.
That wasn't that weird. Like,
Really?
It's a
We
little
would,
weird.
That-
Is that not? Is that weird?
Yeah. Well,
I used to work in a supermarket.
well,
There was veg everywhere.
explain.
It was,
Dude, I sleep on
Okay.
potatoes all the time.
I was up to my neck in veg.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Dude, I worked at a supermarket. I slept in potatoes. Duh.
Gus,
well, okay,
Gus the
upstairs-
veg
fucking
crusher.
weird.
Yeah.
upstairs in the warehouse, the sacks of spuds were probably the comfiest place you could lie down. So you'd make a little spud fort like this,
Spudford.
and then you'd get in the middle. It'd be like a cocoon of spuds, and there would
How
be
the
like
fuck were potatoes the comfiest thing to sleep on?
because there were sacks, and you could
What
like
about,
put
like,
them
sacks
down
of
there.
flour?
Yeah, they're kind of lumpy, but it was better than sleeping on
Lumpier
the.
than a fucking potato?
It's better than sleeping on the pineapples. What else are you gonna sleep
Sleeping on the floor sounds better than sleeping
Yeah,
on a
as a
sack
potato,
of
I used to
potatoes.
be like, what is it? It's like you go to the doctor, it's like, what happened? I slept on a potato wrong.
Like, oh, that's been happening a lot lately. We've been
Yeah.
seeing a rash of that.
Oh, man, it's an epidemic.
I'm really good at it. I can make you a great spud bed.
Please do so.
I saw on RT Live.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'll sleep in it. I'll
Why
attempt
didn't
to
you
sleep
make
in it.
one for
That's where
our
I'll shut
marital
off.
bed? Like, that should have been your gift to us for our wedding, as a spud bed. Here you go. You can make love here. Go
They're
ahead.
really good. They're really cozy, and you
Oh,
can
yeah.
put down like sheets on them and stuff.
One of the things I had on my wedding registry when I got married was like a little deep fryer. And Dan, who
Why
does
do
the
we
voice
have a
of
deep
Donut,
fryer?
Sorry.
got the deep fryer for me. And I was like, oh, thanks. You know, I really wanted this deep fryer. He's like, I just love the idea of you and Esther on your honeymoon plugging in the Fry Daddy and like making donuts. I was like, yes,
straight.
absolutely.
Did you do it?
No, I didn't use it for a couple days. I
How
didn't use
did
it
you
till
spend your
later.
honeymoon? Actually, I don't know.
We actually
Banging.
Yeah, bang.
Probably.
We fucked.
Well, yeah.
Nice.
For the last time. We left the wedding and we went straight to the airport, got on a plane and went to our honeymoon. We went just up to New England and drove around New England. You familiar?
Yes.
Sorry,
we stopped
I had a
in
girl
Jersey.
moment.
Why didn't you
Aw.
go to real England?
Because real
Farther.
England sucks.
It's old.
Real England's terrible.
It's old.
It's cold, rains.
It's
We have
cold
the
and it's
New
old.
England.
Yeah, and our New England's old as shit. Fucking shitty also. Stupid ass New England.
It's not so new anymore.
Yeah, it's old New England.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rest of the country now is like new.
What is the newest country?
Probably like South Sudan.
How old is that?
A year, maybe a little over a year.
Holy
I think.
shit.
Yeah.
What was it before?
It was part of Sudan. Sudan split into North and South Sudan.
Yeah.
We were surprised and had completely
Well, I
forgotten.
just fucking answered your question.
Yeah.
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And Gus,
whatever.
mediocre response.
Yeah.
True.
Did not live up to his expectations. Try again.
The truth?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't very interesting. I regret asking.
Fucking ask a question. I'll
fucking
give you an
ruined
answer.
it for him.
We had a similar reaction in Australia, though. We had forgotten how new Australia is as a country
You say
as
the
well.
word forgotten. I didn't
I guess.
know.
Yeah. I had misremembered.
I'm just
It's
fucking
where all
dumb.
the criminals got put.
Yeah, that's
well,
what
yeah,
people are
originally.
saying.
And apparently Perth is big on reminding the rest of the the rest of the cities there that they were founded by criminals. Perth is like, haha, we are not. But that's what I learned. Yeah. Whatever.
My Gavin reaction to everything now.
I love how few people there are in Australia.
It's pretty barren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a giant island, and people live in a tiny band around the ring.
Yep.
And not the entire ring, just
Right.
like there and there.
Yeah. And even then, I think all of those people are like 20 million, 22 million, something
Maybe,
like that.
yeah, it's not very
I think
many.
they said their population is like 22 million. It's crazy. That's
If
like
we
New
just
York
put
City.
solar panels on all of the deserts of Australia, could we power the planet?
Probably.
I don't know.
It'd be interesting to see how
should
much
do it.
power that would generate. if
Australia and Africa. I feel
yeah.
like maybe we could
Well,
do it.
Africa's pretty populated though.
Well, you could do it like in the
In
Sahara.
the center. Yeah.
That's true.
Upper center.
We
of
should do
Africa.
that before the planet caves in on itself.
South America?
Good idea. Yeah.
Right?
Parts
They're
of
cutting
South
down the
America.
rainforest like crazy. Gotta
Yeah.
put something
Just
there.
put them in the trees.
No, Gus, didn't you see Fern Gully? That's not okay.
I saw Avatar. Does that count?
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
That's the
Pretty
same
close.
thing.
Yeah.
It's a retelling, same story.
One
Yeah.
has Navis and one has fairies. You know, take your pick.
And batties.
Yeah.
Did you give a fuck at all about the World Cup?
No, I didn't even know the final was yesterday.
So I was gonna ask you about.
Nah, I didn't.
No.
I see you guys don't
I
care
feel
at all.
like-
I mean, we did a prediction on it.
Oh yeah,
People fucking loved it.
Predicted
too.
correctly.
Dude.
Yeah,
actually.
we were right.
people loved it. You are
Yeah,
correct.
yeah. They were
loved the
like,
shit out
they
of
were
it.
just like fucking FIFA World Cup prediction. Thank you guys so much for doing it.
I
We're
want to
just-
check the like to dislike
We're
ratio.
huge football fans. You know, that's football with a U.
Football.
And
Football.
yeah, it went over great.
You
And we were
called it.
right.
You were correct.
We called
So that's
it.
3 for 3 Super Bowls and World
your,
Cups.
your score was a little off.
We were a
but
little off.
Pretty
Yeah,
close.
Yeah. It was our score ended up being, I think, 21-14. So we were a little bit off. I think the final score was 1-0.
Was 1-0. If you divide it by 7 number of touchdowns,
yeah.
it was 3-2.
and that video only has 8,000 dislikes.
That's pretty
So that's
good.
not bad.
Of
That's
people
pretty
who
good.
actually care about sports in Achievement Hunter, would you say Jeff and Ray? I assume?
And Jack.
Jack as well.
Jack as
okay.
well.
Yeah, they actually
I would
kind of
say
cared about
top
the cup.
3,
Yeah.
definitely. I don't give a fuck about
I couldn't give a
anything.
toss.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck, but you still watch basketball with Jeff sometimes, or you used to.
I go to the games. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
you
fun
go to
to
games
get
and
bevved
stuff.
up and spill beer on people.
You
There you
walked
go.
into my office a couple times. We watched most of the World Cup in my office. You walked in a couple of times
I
to.
went for a few. I probably
watch
watched
games.
a total of one game.
Did
If
you
had a
support
bad
any
time.
UK teams?
Did I do what?
Support any of the UK teams?
Yeah, I support
The
the Heat Army.
Hotspurs.
Oh, I'm not familiar.
Hit Army.
Yeah.
So you support-
Support
Get
Tottenham.
on me.
Tottenham
I
Hotspurs.
think you were there for the end of every England game
Yeah,
in my office.
and it wasn't pleasant to watch.
No, it was terrible. I thought last World Cup was bad for them, but this one was just.
Yeah. It's not a good team.
You figure they'll turn it around. They'll be better.
Dude,
Bloody
how
Wayne
about
Rooney.
Brazil, though?
It's like that's all they've got. That's all you have. You live in Brazil. It's like we've got kidnappings and we've got soccer.
There's no
Jesus.
turning that around.
If you take our soccer
Baseball?
away, all we have is kidnappings.
Yeah, it was not pretty.
Didn't that
was
YouTuber who got his knob out in the van, didn't he go get arrested at the World Cup?
What are
Did
you?
he?
What?
Yeah, the guy who
Who got his knob out and why?
I don't know. I remember his name.
which guy?
It's
You know
like a
the-
Russian name,
Oh,
right?
is that the guy that we were talking about?
FPS Russia?
The guy who was
No.
soggy in the van.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one we were talking about at Immersion.
Vladimir.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's his name?
I don't remember his name.
Vitaly.
Rasputin.
Yeah, I
Vitaly,
think he
yeah.
was
Yeah, that was
arrested for like streaking at the World Cup or running on the pitch or something.
Damn.
Let me look it up.
He better be true, Gavin, because you just made the call out now.
Yeah.
I think so. It
Well,
was
it's
on
an
the Twats.
autocomplete in here. Vitaly World Cup. Russian prankster Vitaly. I'm not going to try to say that. Streaks tries to kiss someone. Let's read this.
Did he try to kiss a player? Or just a random person?
There he is. The Russian comedian caused far more upset the German defense than blah, 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 whatever. Notorious prankster Vitaly stripped off, blew kisses to the crowd as he ran towards several Bermudez-looking players on the pitch with the words "natural-born prankster" scrawled across his stomach.
Nice.
He made a beeline towards German player Benedikt Houds and attempted to plant a kiss on his lips.
There you go. Gotta kiss a player if you're gonna.
Oh,
Should
so
have
it's
went with
interesting.
Ryan Howard.
They, I
Chase
guess,
Utley.
while that was going on, you couldn't see it on TV. They cut away to like an image of
There it is.
Christ the Redeemer with the sun behind it, and they did it twice while the game was going on. And I thought-
Interesting choice.
And when I was watching the game, I thought, why the fuck?
I was in the middle of the game.
Right, I was like, why the fuck are they showing this when the game's going on? I guess because this was happening and the announcers didn't acknowledge it. They
Yeah,
didn't do it.
they deliberately don't. 'Cause
Yeah,
they don't want people
they
get
cut to
fame.
that shot and they were like, oh, look, there's a beautiful shot of Christ the
Interesting.
Redeemer
I
with
was
the
gonna say,
sun.
why didn't they go to like the FIFA, the World Cup logo? I guess or like
They
check it out.
didn't even want to acknowledge that it happened. I was like,
No, yeah.
Oh, great work by the cameraman there.
I want to know
What?
what that means for him, because in England, if there's a line behind every pitch if you're on the front row, it says, and there's a warning saying, if you set foot on the pitch during a game or at any point, you'll be banned from every Premier League stadium in the country. You're basically banned from football. So doing it at the World Cup final, he's probably screwed from like any game of
I'm
football
sure.
ever from now on.
They get intense with like American football, and especially in Texas. I know that happens at high school games. I had a friend who decided to streak across the field at one high school game. Same thing. It was like, if you try and go to any high school game in this area, we're gonna fucking kick your ass
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Someone's stomping around over there.
Oh yeah.
Dem heels.
Yeah, so
Someone's streaking right now.
yeah, someone is streaking right now.
Vitaly's wearing heels.
Sounds about right.
He works them beautifully.
Someone's telling me that they still do have kidnappings in Brazil. So
Okay. Well, at least you got that.
I'm glad they still have that
you,
going for
'cause
them.
The soccer thing went south.
I was trying to focus on the positives of Brazil. I'm sorry.
Do they say it goes north?
Yeah, maybe.
Because they're in
Maybe.
the southern hemisphere. Like, oh man, that World Cup went north real fast.
Everyone south of the hemisphere sucks. We're like, I went south.
So RTX was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty happy
That was
with
my
it.
favorite one so far.
Yeah.
I think it was my
Favorite out
favorite
of
one
two?
also. Yeah, how many have you been to? Is that your second?
2.
Yeah.
It was good. I had a good time. I feel like it was more hectic. Maybe I just did more stuff.
You
But
were busy.
Yeah,
I saw your
it went
schedule.
really fast.
You got
It did go
shit
really
slapped out of
fast.
you.
Yeah, Jack's
Dude,
always slapped my face off.
That was brutal.
Yeah. The thing I was worried about was like being on for so long, like having to do so many performances in a
Yeah.
row. But it's actually dead easy. It's just once you stop, it goes wrong. So like,
Yeah.
I would just be on for 8 hours, and then at the end, I'd be like,
It's hard to come back out of that.
Yeah,
If
if
you
you
just
dip-
go from the next thing to the next thing to the next thing, it's easier.
There was one
And
day where I think I
Red
had
Bull and everywhere, not sucking dick. I was doing a motion. But
There was
you're
one
doing
day
I was doing that too.
I had a half an
be
hour
honest.
break on one of the days, and I just got bevved to keep it going.
Well,
Yeah, I did that. I did that too, but except every single day at all
Right.
times.
Another good thing
Could you bear me?
about that is, even if you have all those back-to-back things you have to do, if they're different performances or different things going on, it's kind of fresh and it kind of keeps you going
Yeah.
all the time. You're not
Yeah,
like,
I went from like a let's play to a signing to a panel to a podcast.
Yeah.
It was like all different stuff.
It
I
is
just felt like a
interesting
dick
what
to
bleeds
the.
over though.
I felt like a dick to the people who are guests as well, because it's fun to see all the people that you like. But I hardly spoke to any of them because I was just running all
No,
over the
you
place.
hung out.
Yeah, for a
It's
little
so
were
hard to talk to
socializing.
people at RTX. Like for us especially. I'm sure most guests and people that are there, but like family and friends or whatever, they're like, oh, we can come see you, whatever. It's like, don't come for us because
yeah.
we're going to get 8 seconds of free time.
Yeah.
It's like see the show and all that and everything. And it's tons of fun, but it's just so hectic, like the entire time.
Yeah, you're just absolutely, like you said, just running from thing
It's
to
just
thing.
from one thing to the next thing to the next thing to the next thing.
Did you feel like anything kind of like bled over for you, Gavin? Like you're still in this mindset and you're going to another panel and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm still in Achievement Hunter mode or something
Kind of felt like that in the Slow Mo Guys panel, because
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just come off winning. The lads won at CTT on
Yeah.
Live Minecraft, so I was like, woo!
Nicely
And
done.
then I went out on stage. I was like, all right, what are we doing here? Slow mo. All right, I got this.
I had a similar because we just did the Achievement Hunter panel on Sunday, and then I did a editing in RT, which had like Kyle, Chris, Blaine, other people. They was supposed to be a little more.
Who?
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, they're
When
two
you're not
very
familiar.
different tones.
Yeah, exactly. They're supposed to be a little bit more technical and trying to give people advice. And someone like had a question that was like, oh, is it difficult to start up again when you've kind of taken a break from something? And I was like, yeah, just like my sex life. Oh, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I just came from Achievement Hunter. I apologize.
Totally inappropriate.
Sorry, everybody.
Are we uploading our intro for that?
Yeah, I think we're doing it right now. I think
Oh,
Jack
sweet.
was doing it today.
Yeah, we worked out how to get that going.
Sweet. Yeah, we made a live action intro for the panel just because it was funny.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. I'd heard about it. I hadn't seen it.
Oh, you hadn't?
I heard about it. So at the beginning of your panel, I was like, I got to make it a point to be there. That's why I was backstage when y'all were, before you went on stage.
Yeah.
I was back there. I was watching it. I was like, it was fucking cool. It
Yeah,
might
that
be
was really
online
cool.
now.
That was really cool. It was fun to do, and it was awesome to hear the crowd's reaction to it.
Yeah.
People went nuts for it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to do.
It was
live
fun
action
filming
stuff.
whenever you went back. After every single shot, you had to go check on the shot. You're like, okay, bye. Okay, back into spot. Let's do it again.
Yeah, we would, because I was like telling everyone when to go. We're all stood in the line walking towards the camera. Have you seen it? You know what I'm talking about. The big wide shot. And I'd be like, all right, and go. And I would walk, but then I'd keep walking to the camera and everyone would come with me. And I'd be like, no, you guys can all stop. I can keep going. But everyone would follow me to the camera. You took way more steps.
I didn't, Gavin.
Nah, you knew what was going
I
on.
was
Michael
I was
obeyed.
good. I knew. I also because Dan did it. I did a little run up on your slow mo panel.
Oh, you
Dan
did, yeah.
The Achievement Hunter.
Sure.
There
You
was
joined the group hub.
Yeah, well, there was two girls that asked if they could get hugs from you guys, and I thought this was a perfect opportunity. And coincidentally, as I was running up, they were wearing Team Nice Dynamite shirts. And I was just like, dude, this is like the ultimate team. This is Gavin with like American team and British team.
My
you
two
know?
boys.
Yeah.
My B and my boy.
Yeah, I almost ran up there when I don't remember exactly. It was some kind of question that you guys had about making Slumber guys together and this and that. And you're talking about how long you've known each other and da-da-da-da. And it was something like, yeah, he's my boy. And I was like,
Oh, shit.
I'll let this one slide. I'll let you have this panel.
Dan was
It's a
there first.
B-O-Y, not a B-O-I.
Yeah, different
Yeah,
boy.
It's true.
Well, Michael calls you and me, we're his boo and his boy. So then you had your B and your boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop being a whore, basically,
Yeah.
Gavin.
Gavin, you spread your legs for everyone. Your seeds everywhere. It's in England. It's in America.
It's in the ball pit.
yeah, it's in the ball pit. No,
It's all over
that's
the
his
place.
piss.
It's in the bouncy house
your
that's
finger
flying
stuck?
No,
away.
that's my shit in the bouncy house.
Here, let me read this thing.
Feces.
Feces. Speaking of feces, I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Don't Be Stupid.
Figured I'd wait till you're mostly done with that.
Yeah. So one of the other things that we showed off that I think a lot of people didn't catch on to from RTX was the X-Ray and VAV.
I was going to say I didn't know if we were able to talk about it, but I guess we
Sure,
can.
fuck it. Why
yeah,
not?
we premiered it.
Yeah, we cut the stream for it.
We did.
And
yes.
and during the panel when people asked about it, Jordan was just like, I don't know. What?
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we've mostly been playing dumb as far as, we obviously can't talk about a lot of it, but it's exciting. We have an X-Ray and VAV animated, now just a single episode, but should possibly be more, but it's exciting. And Gavin, you're a voice actor now.
I'm a cartoon person.
Yeah, you are.
It looked really good.
My
man.
cartoon looks
it was
way
awesome.
better. I look way better in cartoon
I've
form than I do in
never
real life.
seen a single frame of anything. Like, this was an idea that initially started out as supposed to be like animated adventure style,
Yeah.
like with the stick figure drawings and the animated adventure style.
The same thing you were talking about, Jordan always does special
Yeah.
for certain episodes, and that's how it was presented to me. Is I want to do an animated adventure, but that's supposed to be a special one-off thing. And I was like, oh, what if X-Ray and Vav had an animated adventure together where they're fighting crime, and it became this whole like
Now
elaborate thing.
it's its own show. I
Yeah.
mean, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I was watching it, and I don't know how long it was off the top of my head. It
was like
I don't
9
know.
minutes long.
Yeah, it was almost like 10 minutes. It felt like I was watching a TV show. Like,
Yeah.
it was fucking cool.
I had not seen any of it
Yeah, me
until
neither.
I was there on the panel.
Knew
I was like,
nothing.
okay, great. I was like, let's watch this.
Yeah.
I was watching
I'm
it
glad
for
you
the
liked
Yeah.
first time, and I forgotten most of the recording because it was a while ago. So everything it was new to me. I was like, "Oh, what's gonna happen next?" Oh,
Excellent. Well, we have an animator too who's been brought in to work on it. His name's Peter, and he brought so much physical comedy that we didn't have in the script. It's a lot of moments that you guys obviously didn't record. But I
Yeah.
was like, "That's great! You nailed it. You nailed the Saturday morning cartoon feel we're going for, and that's really what it feels like. It feels like something you'd watch on Cartoon Network." But it was awesome, and I feel like, especially with your lines too, I kept asking you, I'm like, "Can you bring in more of like the oh to your lines, please?" And it just played perfectly.
Ray's an asshole in it.
Yeah, yes. And
Like-
Gavin's
like,
organized.
of all-
I'm the organized one.
Of all Ray's, Ray doesn't do stuff. He just works at Achievement Hunter. He acted the whole thing.
It's-
like Ray's just like, oh, I just did it. It's easy because I just played myself. He totally did not play himself. It's Ray combined with me. Like
It's
he's
like
just
a-
a piece of shit to Gavin, and it's really fucking.
It's like a go-get version of Ray. Like
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Ray was enthusiastic about anything, it's X-Ray.
yeah. It's like, come on, Vav, we gotta do this.
Yeah.
You fucking idiot.
Stop thief.
Yeah.
And I explained
You
it-
guys were awesome in it.
Yeah, you're great. It was fantastic.
Like, well, great's not. They're awesome.
They were great. Especially because both Gavin and Ray were like, "Oh, I don't do voice acting. Like, I'm not. That's not my thing." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. You got this." Yeah.
My own cartoon show.
I'm not anything like Michael. I yelled a couple of times and my voice is just broken.
I felt so bad too,
You
and that's
tell in every single video we're in. It's just a different yell.
You yell
Yeah.
all the time.
You
But
yell
it's
more
a
than me
specific
at this
kind
point.
of
I'm
like
pretty sure.
I know where I can yell, but if I'm like, because I can make noise, it's like, oh, that doesn't hurt my voice. If I'm saying stuff and yelling, it's like,
like,
you know what I mean? It's
I know
different yell.
specifically
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a line too where you just say X-ray, please, but your voice like cracks so much,
Yeah.
and I kept having you do it. I'm like, I'm so sorry. If you have one more in you, that'd be great.
It's fun.
I could hear you guys from the sound booth in our office
Could you really?
when you all were recording.
And that thing is pretty soundproof.
Yeah, it's awesome.
When the door works, which it doesn't.
It's exciting.
What's to do with that fucking door?
None of the doors here work.
You have to pull it like
Pull it
fucking
very-
He-Man to close that thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm fucked then. I'm never
Yeah.
closing that door.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. It's like when I go in the sound booth, I turn around, I grab the handle, and I just go, "Huh," and like I just fall backwards and try and use all my weight to pull that door closed.
Speaking
Gus
of
is
pulling
stuck as
stuff,
Adam. He'll never be there.
I broke my Xbox today.
You did.
You fucked it up a little bit.
In
yeah.
Go, I like to save as much time as possible by putting in games. So I'll put the disc in the tray and just slam it closed because it gets the disc
Yeah.
red faster. And I tried doing it the other way around, so I ejected it and went like this, but I pulled the tray off.
His
Off
tray
of
was
one
like
of the things.
this, dude.
Oh my
like
God.
I
the
didn't go back in.
Xbox
Is
is
this your
straight
one
and
or
it
your
was like this. It was a
360?
360.
And in the middle of Go, I sorted it out.
Yeah, we have the whole thing filmed. It'll be beautiful. Yeah, from 2 angles too.
People are gonna hate that I did.
What
that.
is that? 39 or 40? It's either next week or the
39.
week after.
It's 39. Was the
Yeah.
episode.
I,
Tune in next week.
I inadvertently walked into
Wait.
the end of that recording.
Oh yeah, I just turned around and Gus was there. I was like, "Hey Gus, what's
I was
up?" I
like,
just filmed
uh-oh.
you for a minute.
Like the door was open. Uh-oh. Turn around. I like hid behind the bookcase.
You just like turn sideways and you can
Yeah.
just see your
I like
shirt
that you
floating
hid
there.
from Achievement Hunter. You're like, "Oh no."
Well, it was like in the
recording.
middle of filming. Like I didn't want to like disturb the filming
You
while
should
it
have
was
just
going on.
taken the position of your cutout and just gone like,
There you
nobody
go.
would have known.
Perfect.
No one would have ever noticed. Yeah, I always feel bad. Like I don't mind walking in, but it's like when you're filming, it's like, oh no, like you're doing something.
See, we can always turn that into a joke though, and that's the beauty of Achievement Hunter. Especially if someone comes in and like interrupts the filming, we're just like, okay, now this is the focus of it, so let's make a joke about it. Haha. We're witty.
Yeah, like I was there when you did the end of your Surgeon Simulator on the
Yeah,
Alien.
because you were waiting to give
I was
Gavin a
gonna
ride.
give Gavin a ride.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think in the video, in the final version, you hear like, your ride's here, Gavin. We got to get it right this time.
yeah.
And in the behind the scenes, you're in the background
Yeah.
smiling.
They were like, I've seen comments. It's like Gus disapproved. He was standing judging.
I was trying to be quiet again. Like I was like, you were in the middle of
It
it.
made it more tense. You put the pressure on. I was like, I've got to
true.
get the surgery right because I got to go home.
But then from my perspective, it seemed so easy.
Yeah.
It was like I walked in and in 2 minutes you were done.
God, that
I was like,
surgery.
oh, well, shit.
Our organ was really hard.
Yeah, we kind of had something similar. Yeah, no shit. Our organ was a pain in the ass, and then they said that too because we said it in the video, and then the Surgeon Simulator guys who made it, they were like, "Oh yeah, we specifically made yours the biggest pain in the ass
Yeah,
to get it."
so you could rage over it.
But we were just filming Play Pals for this week. We were filming it before the podcast, and it's pretty much the same thing of just like. We had the video and we had like enough, but we wanted to get to a certain goal, and we're looking at the clock like we need to fucking
Yeah,
finish
it was
this
like-
before the fucking
It's like
podcast.
7:15 and we're
Yeah,
still
I
making
think we came over here at
We
7:19.
could hear you guys still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were desperately like, we're all in the video, and then we die, and we're like, da, 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 da. And then I'm like, seriously, we have to fucking beat this. We have to fucking do
We
the
need an
podcast. We're like,
ending.
dude, we have to fucking beat this. We have to do this.
Yeah, like that's when I called Lindsay Jugs,
Yeah.
and we were sitting here like, Jesus Christ, I can hear you guys so loud.
Again, I was like, they're fine. They got this.
You got to take care. Someone on Twitter said they're talking about when you showed up for that hug, Michael. They said that one girl looked like she was going to cry when she realized you were part of that hug.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw at least one of them at least post on Twitter or something afterwards, and they were talking about it like, I couldn't believe it. Like their world shattered. Like they were freaking out about getting to hug Gavin and Dan. And then I ran up just as like a dumb gag, and they just like lost their fucking
Yeah.
minds that they got to hug all three of us. And I
That
was
was
like,
awesome.
I'm sorry that this is the highlight for you. But thank you so much, but you'll regret this in a year from now.
During RTX,
Love your hugs.
this time I took to the show floor in disguise, and I went back to that booth with the guy who makes the life-size Lego statues, and I didn't
Oh.
smash anything.
You
This
didn't
time.
break
Oh,
it.
nice.
I didn't knock the head off
Nicely
any of the
done.
Lego, so I made up for last year.
I don't know if not smashing something this year
Makes
is
up for-
making up for smashing something
Hey, I
last
didn't
year.
break it.
Smashing something would be you
Like
made
building something. Yeah.
He told me something I didn't know about the one I smashed last year. The one that I smashed was sat down and it was all white. And he goes, yeah, you broke the cancer awareness one.
Oh my
I
God.
was like,
God damn it, Gavin.
it was bad.
Now there's no awareness.
No, we
Nobody
don't know.
knows.
No one knows about cancer.
Nobody knows. What is it?
Yeah, I
How do
don't-
you get it?
If there was a Lego statue of it, I'd know.
God damn it.
I need a visual representation of this, please. Oh
Was
no,
it-
it's not
was
here.
it- was it just like a statue of a dude sitting down that was all white with just like a giant black piece like, in the
No.
middle?
Boo. That's crazy.
Like the cancer.
Jesus.
Speaking of like regretting
No, Gavin is the cancer that comes through and destroys the man.
Yeah,
That's what
awareness
happens.
raised. Mission accomplished.
Watch out for your Gavins. and
Speaking
your
of things
cancers.
that you said you'll regret in a year, you said that. I think it was Barbara was telling me that she saw several Catbug Bernie tattoos. How many did you see? 3.
Woof.
3 Catbug Bernie tattoos.
Dear, oh dear.
There was
That's for life.
I know a guy specifically, one person, a fan that we've interacted with before, but he got tattoos of all of our signatures because he got them on our arm.
You got a
Oh,
few.
right.
Yeah.
I don't think you got all of them yet.
You got a
got- he
lot
got
of
a
them.
lot of
yeah.
them.
And it was to the point, like, I signed his arm after the event, and he was like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm like, yeah, can you be right back? Okay, I'll probably be gone. Not 20 minutes later, he came back. He was like, I got the tattoo. I'm like, did you just go to a tattoo parlor right now after I signed your arm to get it tattooed on your arm? He was like, yeah, done. I was like, all right, that's awesome. Cool.
I think Joel drew like an X through Jack's name.
Jesus.
And,
Yeah, he did, and he asked me about it.
Yeah, he asked me about it too. I was like, absolutely get the X tattoo.
He's like, what should I get?
The X,
And
yeah.
it's like, I don't know. What do you say to that? We joke and we're like, hey, sorry, because it's like, I'm not going to be like, hey, awesome, you got a tattoo of us, like for a symbol or a name or anything like that. Like, it's flattering and like it's a crazy honor, I guess. But like we're assholes. We're fucking comedians.
Yeah.
Like, what else are we gonna do? And be like, I'm so sorry you ruined your body like
Also,
that.
chances are we'll be no one in like 5 years'
Yeah,
time.
exactly. I mean, we're
Say,
no one.
We
We're
think
no one
lowly
now.
of ourselves. We're like, why the fuck would you do that?
I know, and like that's the joke. But I saw.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, and it's my name.
Right. Somebody messaged Jeff, I don't know, a couple weeks ago or something like that, maybe a month ago, somebody on Twitter or some stuff like that. And they were like, yeah, I got this tattoo. And Jeff replied, it's the same thing we always have. And he was just like, let me know if you need any tattoo removal suggestions in a year. I know some great places. And like, that was his reply. And there was like a bunch of people like, how fucking dare you? This person, got a tattoo for you guys and you insult them and da-da-da-da. It's like, it's not really an insult. I mean, what were we supposed to say? Damn right you get a tattoo
Yeah.
of us.
Good on you.
About
Good
time.
tattoo, best tattoo ever.
About time, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, with all due respect, again, it is very honorable. We appreciate it. But yeah, same thing. We're not going to be
We
like,
just think so
"Excellent."
low of ourselves.
Yeah.
We would never say great job for
Yeah.
getting a tattoo of me.
Yeah.
I said to Jeff, it was when we were in Australia, somebody showed me a Tower of Pimps tattoo they'd gotten on their legs and on their one leg, and it looked fucking awesome. It was like the best Tower of Pimps tattoo I'd ever seen. Because some are,
That's
okay,
the craziest
some
thing
are
to hear.
not great.
That's the best Tower Pimps tattoo I've seen.
Well, exactly. What I said was, I tweeted it, or I said something. I think I took a photo of it because I told the guy it's the best one I've ever seen, and even my tweet was, I am so sorry for this. However, this is the best one I've ever seen. It's like, it's an amazing tattoo and the quality was great, but I'm so sorry that you got it.
Yeah.
Gavin, this is your fault. Like, you made the Tower of Pimps. It was a stupid thing that you did when you were drunk, and now someone has it tattooed on their leg, and people have it on their arms
I'm
and all
so
that.
sorry.
It's
Forever.
all your fault.
They're going to get put into a coffin.
Right.
one
I saw
day
a good one where a
with
guy
that.
he had an obsidian on one, and then you go 1, 2, 3, 4. He had it on his knuckles, and it would make the tower
Oh,
pins.
that's
It was
pretty
pretty cool.
That is
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool. I hate to admit.
Well, like, at the same token, too, I mean, obviously people get tattoos for different reasons or different things. They love movie associations or music. And I feel like, it'd be the same for the other way respective. Like, it's your own life. It's your choice. And there's something really passionate that you're obsessed with or you really love, you're a fan of, and you want to get that tattoo. That's fucking awesome. I have a tattoo on me that is, from personal life experiences. But I'm sure, if you were in the opposite seat, you'd feel just as weirded out. Like, why? I made that when I was drunk. Why would you tattoo that on
I don't
yourself?
really feel weirded out. I just feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for the person. Just like, oh, I'm gonna disappoint you one day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
piss you
I'm gonna
off one
ruin
day.
this for you. I'll
And
probably
then,
offend you.
and then
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, why the fuck did I get this? And I feel sorry for you in advance.
Yeah.
And people take that as like, oh, how dare you?
Like, no,
show
no.
some gratitude.
No, it's not that we're not gracious. It's just that we acknowledge that we are all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Basically.
Undeserving
Yes.
Exactly.
of
That's
that.
exactly. We're pieces of shit that don't deserve it.
We are
So please.
assholes.
Speaking of something I do deserve, though,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. If we can cut to the wide, someone, I don't know if you remember, we used to have little like King Gus cross stitches that someone made and gave to me last year at RTX. This year, you can see it right over here. The same person came back and presented me with this Gus Guevara, and I thought it was just our shirt that was stretched out and put into a frame. It's a cross stitch.
That's amazing.
Like they
perfect.
made that. It looks just like the fucking shirt.
Fucking
There
We
it
have
is.
some
there it
talented
is.
fans. That's
I
for
was
sure.
like,
Look
what
at
the
that.
fuck? That's crazy. Like
You
the
made
King
that.
Gus thing was awesome.
Did they say how long it took them?
No, I was in such shock I didn't even ask.
The thing
just
about that is
speechless.
like, I mean, I'm always blown away about the amazing artwork and all of like the ridiculous quality things we get. But the funniest thing and like the coolest stuff is, I don't know, I guess it's kind of like a stereotype, but when I think of like knitting and cross stitching, it's like this, I don't know, this piece of like old America, of like stuff that your grandmother did. Like my grandmother used to knit sweaters and shit for my family. Like she knitted her whole life.
Because people were bored back then.
Yeah, and that's what they do. And they make clothes and it's cheaper. You go buy
have
yarn
sex and you knit.
You make the
That's
clothes
it.
instead of buying it. When you have in 1912 when you have 58 kids, you knit all their clothes and shit like that.
Seems always knitting.
Yeah, so it's just like people give us cross stitches and knits of like disgusting obscenities of our stuff. Which
You
is why
mentioned that on the podcast,
So
too.
I was
Yeah.
getting into that. So it's like I have a bunch of stuff at our house from like shit I've said in Let's Plays where I have a cross stitch that says "Go bitch, go you bitch," and then I also have the same girl made another one based on one of our Cloudberry Kingdom Let's Plays, and it was like "Fuck me in my fucking fuckhole fuck," and it's cross stitched with like elegant handwriting,
Beautiful.
like cursive
I love
handwriting,
the
all
idea
that.
of her parents finding her sewing that and being like, oh, she's depressed.
Yeah, and it's just like it's so cool. And Lindsay at RTX, someone I don't know if they knitted you this like.
It's a sweater dress is the appropriate
full
name.
length.
Yeah, it's a full length thing, and she was wearing it too. And she was like, "I made this for you." I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! You're wearing it right now. It says bitches ain't shit. That's great." And you knit it.
saw you at the
and
party
then
wearing
yeah,
that.
she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm giving it to you," and took it off of her and put it on me. I was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest article of clothing I've ever owned in my life." And like that's so. It's amazing because it's so beautiful and like well done, but it says "bitches ain't shit" on the front of it.
In huge letters,
Yeah.
like the whole thing
Like-
says "bitches ain't
At the
shit."
party, Lindsay walked up to me. She's like, check it out. I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, because
Yeah.
we were
I
in the
almost didn't
car.
wear
We
it.
were in the car about to go into the party, and she's taking it off. Like, I'm not gonna wear this inside. I'm like, you're in Austin, Texas, at
Yeah.
RTX, going to this after hours party. Every single person there will
I
compliment
think we
you
have a
on this.
picture of it. It's what I'm being told.
I was gonna say I have one on my phone. It's back in the office though.
Yeah, well,
Oh,
let
the
them do
tattoo.
the.
Never mind. I'm mistaken. There's the tattoo with the signatures.
They're all
Nice.
tattoos.
Yeah.
Dude,
How
that's
many are
my
on there?
signature on his arm.
My God.
That's nuts.
That is a sign not to hire
That's
someone.
dedication, man. Oh, that was the
Tower
was the
Prince?
leg one I was talking
Oh,
about.
that's pretty top.
It's awesome.
Oh,
it's an
it's
awesome
fresh. He's
tattoo.
still got his leg shaved.
Yeah, he just had it. I think I took that on the booze cruise in Sydney. And I may have tweeted that photo.
So apparently the person you were talking about with the hug tweeted, looks like she dressed up like Vav
Oh.
for part of RTX.
The VAV
Nice.
costumes this year were top. The
Yeah.
X-ray and VAVs.
I saw a lot of them.
Yeah.
Many
Yeah,
next
There
it's,
are a
uh,
lot of cosplays.
At Indie Wombat
ton.
on Twitter.
I think it might have been Australia, but someone knitted me this little pink thing and gave it to me. It was like this big, and it looked like a fingertip thing. I put it on the tip of my finger.
Thimble.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What is this? Do I put it on my finger?" And she's like, "No, it's just a knitted clit.
Oh,
It's pink."
A knit
and she
clit.
knitted a little clit out
Of course.
Interesting.
It was weird.
Just
Were you
whenever she's
fucked,
nervous, she
or-
rubs it a little.
No, it was
Did
just
you
weird.
Give
pinch
it-
it?
By far the weirdest thing that anyone's ever
Did you
knitted.
pinch
Give it a little diddle.
was it
Did you
for your
rub it?
practice
distress?
or?
Did you rub it? Yeah, there's the photo.
Yeah.
I like the commitment
There it
because it was
is.
like 100 degrees that day, and you were wearing a knitted.
was
That's
hot.
what she
Yeah.
did say. She was like, "It's gonna be fucking hot," and I'm like, "I'm just saying,
No, I wore
everyone
it.
here is gonna compliment you."
Yeah.
And they did.
It was amazing.
It was a hit.
That was a
I
fun
like that in
party.
that photo too. I'm pretty drunk as well, so I'm like sweaty. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, that
I
was
like
at
your
the,
hero pose.
That was at the 343 party, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
The Halo
That's
party.
top.
Where we played some Halo 2.
Halo 2 going on downstairs.
Yeah. It was good. DJ upstairs.
Yeah.
Drinks all in the place.
Oh yeah.
It was good. It was good to see. I felt like I saw a lot of people there I hadn't seen in a long time. Like I ran into like Paul Marino there.
Yeah.
And Asaf. I haven't seen Asaf in forever.
Yeah, I talked to those guys for a bit.
Yeah. It was cool. It was cool to go to an event, go to a party, and like catch up with people you like that you haven't seen in a long time. It's like there's no reason I should not see those guys. Like they literally live in the same town. We work in similar fields, and it's like, oh, we have to wait for a party to see each other and hang out.
Yeah.
A party during RTX.
Paul Marino's awesome.
I've known Paul for almost the entire time I think we've done Rooster Teeth. I think he was the one who invited us to the first Machinima Awards we went to back in like December 03.
He has an Emmy.
He does?
Yeah.
Damn.
For what?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, cool story.
He found it.
Okay.
Oh, what's this? Cool.
Someone's just throwing this
I mean,
away.
it's cool though. Like if someone's won an Oscar, you don't say for what, or do you?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
You
you
kind of
probably
do,
do.
absolutely.
He's an Oscar winner.
He's
like,
an Emmy Award finder.
If you won like 6 Oscars, then it's like, this guy's great. When you win one, it's like, what'd you win it for? Absolutely.
My old boss won an Emmy, but he had to buy it. It was $400
I
for
think
the
that's
actual
worth
statue.
it. Can you imagine if you won an Emmy, would you pay the $400 or would you
Absolutely.
be like, nah,
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I'd
That's like
splurge.
it's a scam. It's like that's how they make all their money. Like the thing actually costs like $25 to make. Like listen,
I
guys,
guarantee you it does.
it's like the long con they've been running.
He actually, it was his second Emmy, and the newer one was a lot cheaper, like a lot more cheaply
really?
made. I guess they cut down on the metal that they used. It was
Was he
all
upset?
faded and crap. And one of the balls off the thing had fallen off too.
Jesus.
That's really depressing.
Yeah, but now he has 2 Emmys, bookends.
nice.
So apparently, according to Wikipedia, he's an animator who won an Emmy for his work with Turner Broadcasting System. It doesn't say for what. So who knows? It's also Wikipedia.
I spent the most time with Paul Marino when he was in the office on episode 100. He animated the pelican taking off, I think, for end of season 5.
Where it like fell, isn't it?
Did it fall at the end of season 5?
Oh no, it took off. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fell at
It
the end
like
of
took
season
off
4.
and then either warped away or had
Yeah.
the explosion or all the different.
He was up,
options.
I think, all night on the laptop doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we used him a few times.
Michael and I were talking about how
We were
have
talking
to
about how we have
piss.
to pee, but I
Yeah.
was like, hold
Oh,
it.
you got like
Just wait.
1 minute.
Yeah, no,
Good.
I know.
We're almost
I can
ready to
do
wrap
this.
up.
Don't
I
break
was,
the
I
seal,
went, I was
baby.
like, relax.
So when are you having your first meeting for RTX 2015?
It already happened.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
It already did. We've already had several. I had a meeting Saturday morning of RTX, and then I had a conference call this past Friday
Nice.
about 2015
Ball pit, yes or no?
ball pit.
Good.
We'll see. Gonna
Right.
work on it.
Giant
if we can
ball
figure
pit.
out a way to get a urine filtration system.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
I will absolutely be the one to pee in that ball pit.
filtration.
You got to make sure that the balls are clean. It's like rule 1: have clean balls.
I agree.
It's messed up when you think back to your childhood too, when you were playing in ball pits. You're like, dude, there were kids, like sick kids, messing around in there,
coughing
like
all over.
yeah,
him.
like band-aids, used band-aids, or like hanging out in the
Yeah.
bottom and stuff.
Oh,
I
a
played in
ball
that.
pit with all the balls taken out must have been the grossest
Yeah,
thing.
that's got to be
There's like a
gammy
body
as
in there.
shit.
Do you think?
No, it wouldn't be a body. There'd be like an arm.
Yeah,
It'd
that's
be
more
part
like
of
it.
a body.
Do you
Bunch
think
of rats.
anyone ever cleans a ball pit?
God,
No way.
No, it's just like when the place shuts down. You know, that's why like the last thing broken down. They're like, you handle the ball pit. I did the last one.
Yeah, it's like whoever loses paper,
Yeah.
rock, scissors,
Yeah.
like, fuck, I have to clean the ball pit.
I saw a kid have a nosebleed in one before.
Ah,
There's no way they
that's
cleaned it up.
brutal. You're spreading DNA all
Yeah,
over
it's
the
just
place
like-
there.
And it's the kind of nose blood that's kind of snotty as well. It's really thick.
Ugh.
Viscous.
I never
God.
saw anything that disgusting, but I know that at one point my dad took me to a McDonald's play place to like hang out as a kid, and I pushed so many kids into the ball pit, being like, "This is my area, fuck you." That he was like, "Okay, time to go." Like my kid's the one causing problems, but that's the only memory I have of
You're a
ball pit.
pusher.
Yeah,
I
you're
was,
a
yeah.
piece of shit when you were
I was a bully.
She was such a fucking asshole.
Bitches ain't shit.
Yeah,
Damn straight.
Yeah,
I was the-
she was. Yeah,
I was the little bastard getting shoved.
yeah, you were getting shoved hardcore.
here,
You're
Gavin.
lucky you are safe from her wrath in England. Okay.
I remember I was stood on the top of a hill at my school. It was like really not too steep. It went down. But I was stood on the top of it. Someone like rugby tackled me in the back, and I fell away from the hill, and I just landed on the bottom. It was like
Jesus.
falling out of a window. I couldn't believe it.
Remember
Really,
Bouncy
yeah.
House? That's like 60 feet up in the air.
Can I just say before we go, by the way, because this is the first time I've been on here, I love this new couch.
Yeah,
nice
it's
couch.
It's so sleek.
longer than the old one.
Yeah, see, I don't
it's-
have
it's
complaints
shorter.
like you. You're a chronic fucking
Well,
complainer.
we got the new one, so we would be closer together, and everything would be closer.
But that doesn't involve
we're further
me.
apart.
There's no we closer together
Yeah.
and shit. I pop in every like 5-6 weeks and I pop out. So I'm just
said
here.
Michael should put
fucking
his legs
sweet
up on you.
couch.
Yeah.
And he
know, and then
lied
I'm
and made me
gone.
look like a mug.
You guys can play footsie on the couch.
Yeah, Gavin's just been complaining. He hates new things.
He hates
Gus,
new
I
things,
think it's
yeah.
a beautiful
It's
couch.
a great couch.
Yeah.
It looks
Innovative.
nice.
It looks
but
looks
it didn't.
great.
It didn't fix the problem.
It's amazing. It's totally worth it.
Black
much-
is always good.
How much was this couch?
I don't remember. You keep asking me like
I
you're
really
trying to
wanna know.
embarrass me about something. I really
How
don't
much
remember.
was it?
Why
How
would you
much was that
embarrass me?
shirt,
I don't know,
Gus?
like you bring it up, like you brought it up like the past couple, like how much was the couch? How much was the couch? I don't fucking know. Do you think I know now? Am I gonna know next week? No.
Well, maybe you go look it up for him, and you'll have the information ready. You'll be like,
you're right.
dollars.
I should. Gavin might ask this again.
I will now.
We need to replace these chairs next. I
You
think.
already have, apparently. Every
Yeah.
podcast.
I think actually first we're gonna replace this table. Then after the table, we'll replace the chairs.
This week you're replacing it?
Yes, right now.
Tune in next week when we replace the table on RT Podcast.
All right. Well, I think we're pretty much done. So I want to thank everyone for
Gus is
watching.
done with you.
We'll be back on Wednesday with an episode of The Patch, and next Monday with another episode of RT Podcast. Thanks for watching, everyone.
Bye.
Adieu.
Get out.
Get out.
A dude.
Get out of a dude.
And now it's awkward.
Yeah.
We're still here. Hey.
And
I'm
now
gonna
we get
piss.
to like mine.
Gus and Bernie,
Exactly.
sometimes other people too, like Barbara and Michael. They sit on a couch and talk about all sorts of stuff. Actually, mostly just Gavin's dick and science they don't understand. But it's the RT Podcast, so go ahead, sit down and watch. Or you can just listen, but then you miss out on a lot. Everyone tells stories